And that is homelessness. We get details from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
Mayor Wilson says she has sent 3 new pieces of legislation to the City Council, which would quickly expand emergency housing and shelter with supportive services. The legislation would expedite lease agreements, expand shelter capacity, and allocate funds to make it all happen.
This package of legislation will provide us the tools we need to make good on my commitment to open 1,000 units of shelter and emergency housing this year.
The mayor says the money will come from underutilized city fund sources. She spoke for just 8.5 minutes, then left without taking a single question about what she calls her top priority. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
King County is adding new layers of financial oversight after a scandal at one of its departments. County Executive Gurmai Zahalai announced yesterday he's hired a new internal auditor who starts at the end of this month. According to the Seattle Times, he's also creating a team focused on accountability, adding new controls for grant money, and requiring more ethics training for employees who handle contracts. This comes after an audit last year found the Department of Community and Human Services failed to properly watch over its grants. The county handed out hundreds of millions of dollars with unapproved payments and possible fraud. A former educator from Washington is now sheltering in Kuwait. Lisa Dallas is principal of Global Bilingual Academy, a K-12 school.
I can't leave because the airport is closed. If you call the number to the embassy, you get a recording that tells you, do not rely on U.S. To help you get out of the country. You have to find your own way out, basically.
She tells the G and Ursula show she can hear sirens and explosions from where she is. Lisa is the mother of MyNorthwest.com content editor Julia Dallas. 5 people have been arrested after investigators searched a home in Covington. Police say they found drugs, guns, and thousands of pieces of stolen mail inside. Authorities also say several children were living in unsafe and unsanitary conditions. A man was stabbed in the face in Seattle's Chinatown International District Tuesday afternoon, and police are still looking for his attacker.
Police say the 21-year-old man and the suspect interacted for about 5 minutes before the assault, which left the victim with a deep cut to his face. The suspect stole cash from him before running from the scene at 12th and South King Street into Wamai Park and getting away. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Detectives are trying to figure out what exactly led to the attack. They say the victim was not cooperative. Body cam video from a 3-year-old traffic stop shows Pierce County murder suspect Alex Shabikin in a tense exchange with Gig Harbor police. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more on the suspect accused of fatally stabbing 4 women on the Key Peninsula.
Seconds after Gig Harbor police told Alexander Shablinkin not to drive away during a 2022 traffic stop because he didn't have a license, he shifted his car into gear.
Go drive. What did we just say? More? No, you don't. Listen, you're not operating the vehicle.
3 years later, police say Shablinkin, whom relatives say was mentally unstable, stabbed 4 women to death, including his mother, Zoya. During the prior stop, he threatened to sue officers before thanking them and saying goodbye.
Do you know how much I'm worth?
I don't care how much you're worth.
Because it's going to come out of your paycheck.
No.
For all this crimes, yes, it will, because I have documents.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Deputies shot and killed Shablinkin at the scene there. Just ahead of our traffic, the State Department of Transportation just issued an update on the First Avenue South Bridge, and you're not going to like it. KIRO News Radio's Nate Connors has details on a full closure.
On February 18th, crews discovered cracks in the steel deck on the draw span during routine inspections. Since then, 2 right lanes have been closed with a reduced speed limit. A temporary fix gets underway Monday morning with crews reinforcing the cracks and then placing steel plates over them. This will make it safe for drivers to travel across the bridge deck at a reduced speed until the permanent fix scheduled for early 2027. But this comes with a 3-day closure beginning 5 a.m. Monday through 8 p.m. Wednesday. This will send 50,000 daily commuters who rely on this route over to I-5, where drivers are already struggling with our Revive I-5 project at the Ship Canal Bridge. Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Well, Chris Sullivan, you'll have lots to talk about on Monday, won't you?
Yeah, it'll be loads and loads of fun, won't it?
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, not good at all. I mean, we've seen what it's been like with just 2 lanes now, with all no lanes operating northbound. It's going to leave a mark.
Yeah.
So, but right now it's pretty good. We're looking at all green on the map. We're looking at about 35 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, about 35 as well from Puyallup up into Renton. Renton to Bellevue hasn't quite woken up, about 15 minutes for you. Olympia to Tacoma, nice and easy. Federal Way to Seattle, already gave you, coming down from the north end, 35 minutes or less from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. So we're in a pretty good spot now. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Not so much.
Yeah, we'll see how things go. And, of course, this weekend in my choke point, we've got a big closure coming up on 405. So, yeah, it's going to be lots of fun getting around.
It's not fun.
No. Yeah, sure it is. It's going to be lots of fun.
All right, thank you. Mostly cloudy for today. Will be mainly dry, just spotty showers and maybe even some sunbreaks in the afternoon. 51. Here comes the rain again tomorrow, though, and through the weekend we'll see scattered showers with highs in the low 50s. It looks like Sunday will be the wettest day on the weekend. Right now in Seattle, it is cloudy and 45 degrees. And coming up, Jay Scott breaks down what the Seahawks may do in free agency. That's next here on Seattle's Morning News.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
The John Curley Show.
When people sit there and they see people with the American flag and they're utterly disgusted because they associate the flag and USA with Donald Trump, don't do that. You're doing yourself an amazing disservice.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You could dislike Donald Trump, but you can still love America. It's like discounting Photograph from Nickelback, which is actually a pretty good song. Think of the fact that you love this country, and what you love about it is it's inclusive. Good. Include others.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Jackson Hewitt handles your taxes and your stress. Inhale our no surprise price of $149 or less. Exhale, paying more for complicated taxes. You won't. Inhale new tax law knowledge. Exhale, missing out on your biggest refund. Certainly not. Don't miss paying $149 or less. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whether you've done some preparation already or you're just beginning to plan for your retirement, it's never too late to make sure you have everything covered. Elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayach joins me. You have an opportunity coming soon that will help answer some important questions, don't you?
We do. And every month we take 3 or 4 opportunities to go to the communities and educate people about what proper retirement planning is. The notion of retirement planning around having a hodgepodge plan, working with a financial planner, a lawyer, a CPA, a doctor, those pieces by themselves are not going to give you the results you want in retirement.
And you and the LifePoint Law team want to teach us about the Safe Harbor Trust?
They do. The single biggest financial threat in retirement is an uncovered medical illness. A Safe Harbor Trust, it should be a must in most of these estates, but is not.
Be part of the next seminar in Tacoma on March 10th, Bellevue on the 12th, Federal Way on the 14th, and Everett March 17th. Learn more and secure your space at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Seattle's Morning News. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Now he starts up the middle. He breaks it outside 50. He's down in 40. He's on the run. 30, 25, 20. He's going to go 10. 5. Touchdown! Seahawks!
Kenneth Walker, one of the greats, the Super Bowl MVP, G.
All right. Are we going to hear Rabes say something like that again?
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think
You
so.
can't come in here and bum me out.
Well, that's true, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I know that's something.
She's going to excuse you early.
You may be excused.
The truth these days is, it's tough to come by. So, K9. The thing is of course, we heard the news recently. They did not franchise tag him, so that means he's due to be a free agent, and he's a free agent now. And I'm not sure that K9 was really ever in the Seahawks' long-term plan to begin with. It's almost like in any other job. Nobody makes a decision like right there at the end of the season. A lot of decisions are made in advance. And that's just the business of football, and that's just business. But the story of K9 right now reminds me of something that we've all seen in life. It's like when someone tells someone that the relationship is over. They tell you it's done. They tell you that they've already moved on in their mind. And then all of a sudden, what do? They go to work. They hit the gym. They tighten up their routine. They drop some weight to get their confidence back. They go interview to get a new job. The new job is paying them 3 times of what they were. That was Kenneth Walker III. There was already this plan, but what we saw the end of that season, look, I don't think the Seahawks win the Super Bowl without Kenneth Walker III. He was that good. He was that good in the Super Bowl, and he was that good in all of the last 5 games of the season. So the story of Kenneth Walker is he was awesome. But right now, there will never be a time in his life where his financial value will ever be this high.
That's true.
I don't think he owes Seattle anything. He gave us everything he had. They won a Super Bowl. He was outstanding towards the end. So my thing to Kenneth Walker III, K9, thank you.
So is Charbonnet just going to be your star running back, or do you see more acquisitions?
They're definitely going to make some acquisitions. They're going to definitely make some because Charbonnet, we don't know exactly when he's going to be back. Remember when he got hurt. And that's really what happened. When Charbonnet went down, then K9 and his crew, they get more leverage in that situation. So Charbonnet is definitely, he's definitely in the plans, obviously, when he comes back after his injury. And then you have George Halani, who they just had a restricted deal with him just now. And George Halani is a very good back. I love George Halani, no doubt about it. Is he K9? No, he's not. He's not that. And I do think that John will figure something out.
At least we're keeping Rashid Shaheed.
Oh, they are?
No.
I don't think we're
Wishful
keeping
thinking.
Rashid. Yeah, this is me wish casting.
Now
over
you're
here.
bumming me out.
I do wonder the question of running back. The running back position has changed so much in terms of how teams value it. It's kind of value has gone way down. Now it's kind of back up a little bit in the way that offenses are schemed up. I'm wondering, Seahawks with Kenneth Walker, with Zach Charbonnet, those are draft picks as opposed to acquisitions. Seahawks only have 4 draft picks right now in the upcoming. Do you think they use one on a young running back coming out of college?
We'll see. Don't know. I would think if they had their eyes on a running back to be maybe a running back number 1, it might be a free agent. Right? It might be a free agent. It could be a trade. I was wondering if the Seahawks were going to be in the running for David Montgomery from the Detroit Lions, and then we saw that he headed over to the Houston Texans. Let me just say this going forward. The best, if you're a Seahawk fan, and here's why, and I know I always paint it as a rosy picture being a Seahawk fan, but I will say this. John Schneider has been here before. And what I mean by been here before is they have won a Super Bowl, and he saw what happened after the Super Bowl. People were getting paid, and where the position groups that got paid. He better understands now what to do. So whatever they decide to do, I think we have to trust what they plan to do.
It's 5:24. We're going to have mostly cloudy skies for today, 51 our high. For tomorrow, we'll see some light rain at times, 52. For the weekend, it looks like Sunday will be the wettest of the 2 days, highs staying in the low 50s. 45 and cloudy in Seattle right now. And coming up, KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey has Tech Talk, how America, Israel, and Iran are starting to use AI for cyber warfare. That's on the way on Seattle's Morning News.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, "After hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today!" Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words "switch today" in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense, and that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in no time with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025. Actual speeds vary. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial cable.
Mark is 76, and his shoulder pain was getting in the way of him playing baseball. You heard that right. Baseball.
Yeah, there's a whole league here of old guys pretending like we're kids.
The pain from severe arthritis just wasn't going away.
It was like a nerve-type pain, and I couldn't sleep at night.
That's when Mark decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Well, if I can avoid surgery anytime, you'd probably be better off.
Mark is back out on the diamond playing baseball.
So I moved into this retirement community, and I talked about my shoulder, and these old people here, they got all excited about it, and 2 of them now have gone to see Mark Wagner. They don't like driving into Seattle, so I drive them in.
He more than recommends Dr. Wagner. He chauffeurs. So whether it's a hip like mine or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8180.
185 or advancedhair.com.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Staples has hot deals on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
It's a great time to visit Subaru of Puyallup during the Subaru A Lot to Love event for extra savings through March 31st. Visit your stress-free dealership, SubaruofPuyallup.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:30. I'm Manda Factor. New escalations in the war with Iran. Israel unleashed a barrage of bombs overnight on the capital city of Tehran. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata has more from Tel Aviv.
Lawmakers tell CBS News that the Secretary and Joint Chiefs of Staff briefed congressional members behind closed doors that Iranian drones presented a major challenge and air defenses might not be enough to intercept them all.
An effort to stop the war against Iran failed yesterday in the U.S. Senate on a 47-53 party line vote.
Mississippi Republican Roger Wicker says President Trump's decision to attack Iran was correct.
The president understands the weight of war. He was clear-eyed about the risk, and he was honest with the American people.
Washington Democrat Patty Murray says Trump broke his promise of no new wars.
This president is ordering our kids to be shipped off into war from his beach club in Florida. That is obscene.
Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is moving forward with what she calls her top priority, homelessness. The mayor held a news conference yesterday afternoon to announce 3 new pieces of legislation that would expedite lease agreements, expand shelter capacity limits, and allocate money from underutilized city funding sources.
We are moving faster than ever before, but I want to see the ground start breaking, the hammers start swinging, and fewer people left to sleep in doorways and tents.
The mayor left the news conference without taking any questions about her plan. A King County Sheriff's canine helped stop a large shipment of drugs headed to Washington. Investigators say Canine Quinn alerted deputies to narcotics in 2 vehicles arriving from California. Deputies seized nearly 19 pounds of fentanyl powder and pills. A new survey shows many Seattle small businesses say finances are tighter now than during the pandemic. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin.
Operating costs are crushing small businesses. Everything from increasing property taxes to high minimum wages.
Some say declining foot traffic and fewer shoppers are also hurting sales. The local business community is reacting to Starbucks' decision to open a new corporate office in Nashville. The company says its global headquarters will remain in SoDo, but dozens of local employees are being offered the option to relocate to Tennessee. Downtown Seattle Association President and CEO John Scholes says the announcement highlights a troubling trend.
We've created too much cost and expense and too little predictability for employers. And I think we're starting to see the effects when we look at just the total number of jobs in this city today compared to 2-3 years ago. We're going in the wrong direction.
Scholes isn't weighing in directly on Starbucks' decision, but he points out Seattle's been losing employees as new business taxes have taken effect, all while major tech companies announce significant layoffs. Bothell police are asking for help finding a man who lost a wedding ring last year. Officers say the ring was lost in the Holly Hills neighborhood in May. It's now been found, and police hope to reunite the sentimental item with its owner. If you recognize the man, contact Bothell Police. There's a picture of him at mynorthwest.com. It's 5:33. That's time for a check on traffic. And for that, we turn things over to Chris Sullivan.
We've added a few more customers out there across the board, just a little bit of braking here and there. If you're on the Valley Freeway, it's going to be a pretty good drive from Puyallup till you get up to Auburn. Then we start seeing just a little bit of mixing there through the weaving and merging. Overall, it's 40 minutes from Puyallup to Renton, right where we should be. Renton to Bellevue, a few customers there right in the Sunset area through that merging corridor. And we've got about 18 minutes up into Bellevue. Olympia to Tacoma, nice and easy, 30 minutes there. Federal Way to Seattle is under 35. Brake lights up towards the Kent Des Moines Road haven't really started to materialize yet. Out of the north end, there's a little westbound pressure on the trestle getting over to I-5, but nothing you can't handle. And then only 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
We're going to see mostly cloudy skies for today. Spotty showers and sun breaks in the afternoon, 51 our high. Light rain tomorrow as we wrap up the week, 52. And then Saturday, few showers early on. Should be just cloudy for the afternoon. Sunday looks a little bit wetter. Rain likely. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 45.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show. Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
It's now 5:35. In today's Tech Talk, there is a new battlefield quickly forming between Israel, the U.S., and Iran. All three sides are weaponizing technology, including AI. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports it's being used to pinpoint both conventional and cyber attacks.
At the same time, there is ongoing debate on the ethical use of AI here in the United States.
It's important to know that America's adversaries are not having this debate about whether to use AI in warfare or national security. They're already doing it, and they're already doing it at machine speed.
Former Microsoft cyber law expert and now owner of Advancing Cyber, Kristen Flynn Goodwin, says China is reportedly using AI in their satellites, in space, and seabed sensors to help track activity in the South China Sea, while Russia and Ukraine are using AI in their drones.
Drones use machine vision, they use autonomous navigation, and it helps them bypass jamming because they're so small, to help speed up attacks on the battlefield.
Experts say Iran is now deploying similar technology, including drone strikes on U.S. embassies in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and a consulate in Dubai. Cybersecurity experts are warning of potential cyber attacks from Iran as well, given its proven ability to attack and infiltrate U.S. infrastructure from banks and healthcare systems to the oil supply and water treatment facilities.
It's in every major battle space around the world. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, all the big adversaries that the United States has.
And Flynn Goodwin says for the U.S. military,
so you have to expect and in fact demand that the United States would be prepared to do the same, or else our defenses would be weaker.
In fact, two sources familiar with the U.S. military's use of AI confirm they used Anthropic's Claude AI model over the weekend for the attack on Iran and is still using it, despite a government ban on Anthropic technology announced after a dispute last week with the Pentagon. The conflict centered around Anthropic's push for guardrails that would explicitly prevent the military from using Claude to conduct mass surveillance on Americans or to power fully autonomous weapons. Regardless, there is a new battlefield driven by technology.
We can take confidence in the fact that AI is not going away, and we've got a lot of folks that are thinking really hard about how to make sure that it's being used to protect the U.S. interests going forward.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey. Well, as tax season ramps up, experts warn of increasingly sophisticated scams targeting filers. KIRO 7 TV asked a security expert how you can prevent AI from accessing your data.
If you have already filed your taxes, it doesn't mean that they're not necessarily going to try and target you. The criminals are taking advantage of the calendar. You can elect not to allow the data you're entering to be used to train the model. That is an option for you.
Officials say also be wary of unsolicited calls, emails, or messages asking for personal information. Well, Democrats don't have the votes, at least not yet, to pass their income tax bill in the state house. The Washington State Standard reports about a dozen Democrats are holding out, and the party can only afford to lose 9. Republicans are unanimously opposed. The holdouts have different concerns. Some want more money for child care. Others want bigger tax breaks for working families or small businesses. Governor Bob Ferguson has been meeting privately with wavering lawmakers, and new amendments could come as soon as today. But Ferguson has made clear he's willing to wait until 2027 if the bill doesn't go far enough. Democratic leaders still say they're confident the bill will pass before the session ends March 12th. The measure would impose a 9.9% tax on household income above $1 million starting in 2028. Federal tsunami warning programs are a step closer to being funded through 2030.
A Senate committee has passed a bipartisan bill backed by Washington Democrat Maria Cantwell and Alaska Republican Lisa Murkowski. It would provide $30 million for those programs and protect NOAA's access to seismic data from the Alaska Earthquake Center. Last year, grant funding for that data was canceled. Alaska state seismologist Michael West.
Statistically, one of the next major tsunamis is likely to come out of Alaska. It is a prodigious source of tsunamis,
some of which could reach the Washington coast. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
It's 5:39. We'll get to national headlines next here on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing. A chipmunk nibbling on an acorn. Smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax, because you bundle your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team. Build it sooner.
Simple roof repair or a full renovation. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Schedule your free estimate today. Visit IntegrityRC.com. That's IntegrityRC.com.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. We're ready to clear our warehouse. This is a rare chance to save thousands on new and floor model hot tubs featuring our saltwater hot spring spas. Plus, outstanding deals on endless pool swim spas, Tilo saunas, and our great selection of pre-owned tubs. Warehouse clearance savings in all 8 Olympic showrooms now until March 8th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
CBS News Brief. Fresh attacks from all sides in the Middle East. The BBC's Yolande Nell.
There are these reports of new explosions in Tehran, and the Israeli military saying it's carrying out additional strikes there at the same time as they're carrying out more deadly strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon.
Iran is warning the U.S. will bitterly regret sinking its warship in the Indian Ocean. The Senate's defeated a bid to limit the president's war powers. Democrat Richard Blumenthal.
This widening war, I fear, puts us on the precipice of American troops on the ground. American sons and daughters will be in harm's way.
Texas Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez admits to an affair with a staffer before she died by suicide.
I've reconciled with my wife, Angel. I've asked God to forgive me, which he has. And my faith is as strong as ever.
He spoke on the Joe Pags radio show. CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Our forecast, we're going to see clouds today. Might see some spotty showers for the afternoon, but some sun breaks too. 51 our high. Light rain at times for your Friday, tomorrow, 52. The weekend, you might get a little wet Saturday. Look for showers early on, then cloudy in the afternoon and 54. A little more steady rain on Sunday. Right now, it's cloudy and 45 in Seattle. Coming up, former State Attorney General Rob McKenna explains why many believe the U.S. airstrikes on Iran are unconstitutional. That's next on Seattle's Morning News.
High five! Up top!
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
We've entered day 5 of the war with Iran. U.S. and Israeli strikes continue throughout that country.
One of the big questions brought up by critics of the war, that the airstrikes violate both the U.S. Constitution and international law.
Well, let's dive into that with former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. After all, Rob, it's only Congress that can declare war, right?
Right. The Constitution gives Congress the sole power to declare war. And so what we've seen over many, many years is a series of military actions without a declaration of war. Even though Congress subsequently enacted the War Powers Act in 1973, which was a response to the Vietnam War, we've seen presidents starting with Gerald Ford initiate or justify military actions in Vietnam, Yugoslavia, Libya, Iraq, drone strikes in the Middle East by President Obama. And so here, even though fighting is underway in Iran and Iran has retaliated, under U.S. law, the country is not officially at war unless Congress says so.
So it's not a black and white answer.
No, it's not, and it hasn't been for a long time. Now the War Powers Act does put in place a notification requirement. It requires the president to notify Congress within 48 hours of military action of the action and prohibits troops from being deployed for more than 90 days unless a war is declared. We've had a series of wars that have been fairly brief. On the one hand, you had the first Gulf War, which I think was 100 hours basically. And then on the other hand, you have the Iraq War, and the Afghanistan War. And so each war brings its own set of sort of procedural requirements and implications.
So maybe you can help me explain this, because I had a conversation with my son. He's got a social studies class happening right now, and they're talking about the division of powers between Congress and the president, and of course. What am I supposed to tell him? Because he's like, why isn't Congress taking this up?
Well, there's nothing stopping Congress from taking it up. Right? So, we can expect them to do that. You're already seeing Democrats raise the question. Some Republicans are starting to do so. And it's important to be clear that, you can have a military action without a formal declaration of war. Formal declarations of war are quite rare. We had one in the War of 1812. We had one in World War II, maybe one other. But more recently, we've seen what's called an authorization for use of military force. So, for example, even though Congress did not formally declare war on Iraq, it did pass the authorization for use of military force against Iraq resolution of 2002, which was an enacted law. It's more commonly referred to as the Iraq Resolution, which granted President George W. Bush the authority to use U.S. armed forces against Iraq as he deemed necessary to defend national security and enforce UN resolutions. So again, that resolution, like others, was not a formal declaration of war, but it seemed to give the president ongoing authority in that war beyond the 90 days authorized by the War Powers Act.
Talking with former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Rob, is this something that could end up in the Supreme Court?
Everything can end up in the Supreme Court these days. So the answer is yes. And will it end up in the Supreme Court as a result of regular litigation? Will it end up in the Supreme Court on the shadow docket if there's a legal action to try to restrain or enjoin the president from continuing this war? I'm skeptical that it will. First of all, if the plaintiff loses in the trial court and or the Court of Appeals, the Supreme Court doesn't have to grant review. They can just let that ruling stand. And there's reason to believe that such a legal challenge would fail. And the reason is that under separation of powers doctrine, which Charlie referred to a moment ago, the president is at what's called the apex of his power as the chief executive when it comes to foreign affairs, and especially when it comes to military actions. And so the courts are likely to grant the administration significant deference. Now, the Congress has other powers that could be deployed if it chose to, that could effectively rein in the war. They could use the power of the purse to limit funding for the war. But of course, that could be very unpopular when the effect of doing that could be to put even more service people at harm's way if you don't give them the resources they need to fight and to fight back. So we'll see, but I don't know that this is an issue that's ultimately going to be in the Supreme Court. It could, but I think we're a long way away from that.
And we've got people in the UN, different governments, saying the airstrikes violate international law. How much does the U.S. government care about what the United Nations and international courts say?
Not a great deal at the moment, even though we have gone to the United Nations to rally support, for example, for the war in Iraq. It's pretty clear, according to international law experts, that the U.S.-Israeli strikes in Iran breach Article 2, Section 4 of the UN Charter because they're not justified as self-defense and they were not authorized by the UN Security Council. The UN Charter prohibits the threat or use of force against another state unless the UN Security Council authorizes it. Not any chance of that happening with China sitting on the UN Security Council, or if a state acts in self-defense against an actual armed attack or the imminent threat of an armed attack, which doesn't seem to be present here. So you're right. The key question is, so what? And the UN can try to put together sanctions. They can try to take a series of actions. But remember that the U.S. has veto power on the Security Council as well. So I'm guessing that nothing effective will be done by the UN in that regard.
Okay, Rob, can I have you put your recovering politician hat on?
It's really, you're not. It's like offering me a drink if I were in the 12-step program. But go ahead.
So we're hearing the income tax bill may be punted to next legislative session. What's your sense of the state of play in Olympia right now?
It's hard to gauge. Governor Ferguson is certainly talking about that, as you're suggesting. There's a big disagreement over how the money will be allocated, and also there was a corporate tax break that was in the bill that was removed before it passed the House that the governor is unhappy about. So we'll see if that if it waits until 2027 or not. And then of course there are the constitutional questions around a progressive tax on income, given our Constitution's definition of property, which is extremely broad. We should probably talk about that in another segment, but it is worth talking about because voters have been given 6 separate opportunities to amend the state constitution to exclude income from the Constitution's definition of property, and they've turned them all down, which suggests that very strongly that they believe income is their property, particularly when the definition of property in the Constitution is everything tangible or intangible subject to ownership. So I'm waiting for the governor, the legislature, or a court to tell people they don't own their income. They don't have a property right in it. The voters clearly think they do. They've had many, many opportunities to amend the Constitution to allow progressive income tax and turn them down. And I think you've got an important political and constitutional question here, as well as the policy question of how the money would be spent and what other taxes would be affected by it.
When we were talking to you about this last week, you referred to it as gimmicky, and that ended up as a headline at mynorthwest.com.
Oh, I didn't realize I was so quote-worthy. This is good to know.
You always are. We appreciate you very much.
Rob McKenna making headlines. I always appreciate it. Rob, thanks. We'll check in with you next week.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Our forecast, mostly cloudy, 51 for the day. We might see some spotty showers in the afternoon, but nothing threatening. Right now in Seattle, cloudy and 45. And coming up, more of our day's local headlines. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey will have much more on Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson's plan to tackle homelessness in the city. And Sully has a choke point. There's a big closure coming to I-405 this weekend you need to know about. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you, gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
It's a fact. When your eyes work correctly, light focuses through both your cornea and your lens to give you high-quality vision. Hi, it's Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision. Here's another fact. As we near age 50, we begin to lose the quality and function of our natural lens. That's when we start to reach for reading glasses and contemplate those cataracts on the horizon, typically in our 70s or later, but inevitable if we get old enough. Fortunately, K2 Vision has the advanced permanent solution for both, refractive lens exchange, or RLE. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. Plus, another thing is permanent. You will never develop a cataract. After over 20 years replacing over 100,000 failing lenses, we will help you determine when it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
Rick was experiencing some pain in his knee.
Once I retired and really just golfed constantly, I think it kind of exacerbated.
It was getting to be too much for him.
It got to the point where I just almost couldn't sleep. I wanted to try anything to avoid surgeries.
So instead, he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Yeah, I talked to him and he said, well, Rick, it's a new knee or we do the stem cell.
Since the procedure, Rick is back doing what he loves to do.
Here I am, golfing and enjoying it.
And now it's not just his knee. Rick has had stem cell treatment for both of his shoulders, his hip, and...
He did my thumbs.
So whether it's a hip like I had or a shoulder, knee, and thumb like Rick, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
The Albertley Appliance Clearance Center, now open in Kent, offering warehouse sale pricing year-round. Up to 70% off closeouts, scratch and dents, overstock, and floor models from all top manufacturers. The Albertley Appliance Clearance Center in Kent. Visit albertley.biz.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The conflict broadens in the Middle East. Eyewitness video shows explosions hitting western Iran with flames and black smoke billowing over the skyline. Chief correspondent Matt Gutman begins our coverage from Tel Aviv.
What we're seeing is a sort of race against the clock. The U.S. and Israel are trying to wipe out Iran's missile capacity before they run out of missile interceptors, without which the city behind me would likely be smoldering. And while Iran is trying to conserve its stockpile in anticipation of a longer war.
Iran has launched a new wave of attacks against Israel, American military bases, and countries across the region. Robert Berger reports from Jerusalem.
We've continued to have air raid alerts throughout the day here, but it's much more sparse. The missiles coming in are much more sparse than they have been. Maybe one missile at a time, maybe two. But people are still running to bomb shelters. But because it's sparse, and these missiles are being knocked down by Israeli defensives, the all clear is announced a short time later.
Turkey's issued a strong condemnation after 2 Iranian drones fell on Azerbaijan today. Politico reporting the president's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, is telling advisors to come up with ways to lower gas prices that have been climbing since the war began. According to AAA, they're up another few cents. Gas Buddies' Patrick DeHaan.
We are now up over 24 cents from where we were over the weekend.
The average price per gallon nationwide today, $3.25. Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez now acknowledges he had an affair with a former staffer before she died by suicide.
Hours after the House Ethics Committee announced it would investigate whether Gonzalez engaged in sexual misconduct, the Republican told conservative radio host Joe Pags,
I made a mistake, and I had a lapse in judgment.
Gonzalez did not discuss his relationship with former staffer Regina Santos Aviles, who took her own life last year, but said he had nothing to do with her death. Gonzalez's GOP primary runoff opponent, Brandon Herrera, posted on X, quote, "Is there anyone left who still trusts this now objectively proven liar?" Michael Wallace, CBS News.
An explosion at a cocoa butter plant near Philadelphia. Police say 4 people are in critical condition after the blast. Logan Township, New Jersey, Police Chief Joe Flatley.
We empathize with those that were involved. And the community is safe. There are no ongoing hazards. The air quality is continuing to be monitored to confirm that.
No word on the cause. The business processes cocoa butter for the chocolate industry. Dow futures down 280. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
At 6:03, we check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic on the 3s.
And it's not too bad as we start at 6:03. We've got a few brake lights here and there, but they're manageable. If you're coming down the I-5 corridor, you see a little bit braking there through the forced merge in the Northgate area, but overall about 40 minutes from Everett into Seattle, 40 as well from Everett to Bellevue. Brake lights there through the Bothell area. Northbound 405, not too bad either, under 20 minutes to make the drive to Bellevue. The the northbound 167 corridor running about 40 minutes. There's some brake lights in Auburn. That's really the only red on the map we have so far. Federal Way to Seattle, brake lights there right into the CD lanes. But overall, we've got about a 35-minute trip from Federal Way to Seattle. Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Find your pot of gold at Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Save up to 20%, plus enjoy 12 months, same as cash financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is unveiling 3 new pieces of legislation aimed at tackling the homeless crisis.
Critics are already saying they are skeptical about whether her plan will work.
And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here to break it down.
Yeah, first, here is the plan Mayor Wilson just announced.
The single most important thing we can do to address our city's homelessness crisis is to rapidly expand emergency housing and shelter with supportive services.
Yeah, to make it happen, Wilson sent 3 pieces of legislation to City Council to quickly open 1,000 new shelter units and emergency housing with wraparound services, but also to expedite lease agreements for shelters in tiny home communities and to expand shelter capacity from 100 people per shelter to 250 people per shelter.
We are moving faster than ever before, but I want to see the ground start breaking, the hammers start swinging, and fewer people left to sleep in doorways and tents.
The mayor also wants to allocate some $5 million to pay for the plan. You know, there were multiple community groups alongside the mayor during the announcement. The Downtown Seattle Association called it a bold first step. However, critics now have a lot of questions. We Heart Seattle, a nonprofit group that has worked with Seattle's homeless for years now, says, they hear from people in the streets who are shelter resistant, people doing drugs, living in camps, parks, and RVs who do not want shelters or tiny homes. For people who do live in shelters but spend their days doing drugs in parks, on the sidewalks, there doesn't seem a plan to be in place for them. And will any of these shelters be clean and sober shelters? A lot of questions, Charlie and Manda. Not a lot of answers because, however, the mayor spoke for more than 8 minutes on this. However, then she just walked away from the podium. No questions. So far, no answers.
Just to be clear, she spoke for 8 minutes, calls this her most important issue, and then she just walked away.
That's right. A lot of questions from a lot of reporters. We want to
call the press out to cover this too?
That's right.
Okay. 6:06 here on Seattle's Morning News. Democrats don't have the votes, at least not yet, to pass their income tax bill in the state house.
The Washington State Standard reports about a dozen Democrats are holding out, and the party can only afford to lose 9. Republicans are unanimously opposed. The holdouts have different concerns, as some want more money for child care, others want bigger tax breaks for working families or small businesses. Governor Bob Ferguson has been meeting privately with wavering lawmakers, and new amendments could come as soon as today. But Ferguson has made clear he's willing to wait until 2027 if the bill doesn't go far enough. Democratic leaders still say they're confident the bill will pass before the session ends March 12th. The measure would impose a 9.9% tax on income above $1 million starting in 2028.
Seattle City Light reportedly has agreed to spend nearly $1 billion on fish passages at its 3 Skagit River dams. For years, King 5 TV reports the city claims salmon never historically reached that part of the river, so a fish passage wasn't needed. Tribal biologists and federal scientists disagreed. Turning point came in 2019 when researchers captured video of Chinook spawning in a stretch the city said was inaccessible. The formal announcement is expected Sunday.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
I can be really subtle with my questioning, can't I, Amanda?
No.
I'm not known for my subtlety.
Well, it was a fair question.
It was a fair question.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we do get answers. This is Thursday, March 15th, Friday Eve. Welcome to Seattle's Morning News. That is Manda Factor and David Burbank in the studio with us producing this show. And Sully, you're wearing your Notre Dame garb. Kind of a sad day yesterday.
Yeah, big sad day for those of us in the Notre Dame community. Lou Holtz, the coach when I was there. And,
when you were there.
Just passed away at 89. I want to share this with you. He was a quote machine. See what you think of this one. I hope it'll set the tone for today. Your wife or your partner is not your best friend. Your dog is. How do you know? Put them both in the trunk of your car for 2 weeks and then open it up and see which one is happy to see you. So there you go. I just love that guy, and he was so great for the university, so great leader of men, and it's sad we were talking about it all day yesterday with the boys. So sad, but great life lived.
And he won the last Natty when you were a student there, right?
Yeah. Technically, we should give him the 1993 one as well, but the voters chose Bobby Bowden to give him his first one, though the Irish beat them head-to-head that year. Somehow that was not...
Sully doesn't hold a grudge.
No, at all.
Of course not.
But 88 was a magical year.
Yeah, all right. Well, this hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Oh, Sully, come back. You have a choke point on the way, and that's a big one.
Oh, yeah. Bothell, Woodinville, you guys are going to be shut down this weekend. Closure of 405, so all the detours, everything coming up in that choke point.
Okay, and Luke Ducey will be back with a Tech Talk. While the U.S., Israel, and Iran exchange airstrikes, there's a different type of warfare happening in the cyberspace, and Luke will talk about that coming up this hour.
It's 6:09. An effort to stop the war against Iran failed yesterday in the U.S. Senate, a 47-53 party line vote.
Mississippi Republican Roger Wicker says President Trump's decision to attack Iran was correct.
The president understands the weight of war. He was clear-eyed about the risk, and he was honest with the American people.
Washington Democrat Patty Murray says Trump broke his promise of no new wars.
This president is ordering our kids to be shipped off into war from his beach club in Florida. That is obscene.
Frank Lindsay, KIRO Newsradio.
A former educator from Washington is now sheltering in Kuwait. Lisa Dallas is principal of Global Bilingual Academy, a K-12 school.
I can't leave because the airport is closed. If you call the number to the embassy, you get a recording that tells you, do not rely on U.S. To help you get out of the country. You have to find your own way out, basically.
She tells the G and Ursula show she can hear sirens and explosions from where she is. Lisa is the mom of MyNorthwest.com content editor Julia Dallas.
An 86-year-old Gold Star widow has finally won a 3-year fight with the Army. Mary Dowling was promised a burial plot next to her husband at Fort Lewis Cemetery in 1966. According to the News Tribune, her husband, a helicopter pilot, was killed in Vietnam. Dowling never remarried. Veterans Day 2022, she discovered someone else had been buried in her spot. The Army said it couldn't move the remains and offered to bury her in the same grave as her husband without her own headstone. She refused. Her son Bobby eventually sent a letter to White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's office stepped in. The Army has now agreed to give Mary her own headstone and a burial right next to her husband.
Get ready for a rough commute through Seattle. Crucial repairs are needed at the First Avenue South Bridge, where a recent inspection identified cracks on the draw span. WashDOT will begin a temporary fix Monday, shutting down all northbound lanes. 3-day closure, first of 3 phases to fully repair the bridge, with a final phase in early next year. 50,000 daily commuters who rely on this route will be forced over to I-5, which is already struggling with Revive I-5. Closure begins 5 a.m. Monday, goes through 8 p.m. Wednesday.
Not going to be fun.
No, Sully, we will have you keeping a close eye on that for us.
Yeah, it's been bad enough as it is with 2 lanes closed, the whole thing. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be rough.
Okay, it's 6:12. That's time for a check on the weather. And for that, we bring in KIRO 7 TV's Nick Allard. Good morning.
Good morning. We have just some pockets of some isolated showers and some light raindrops here and there. There isn't much. It is part of a Puget Sound convergence zone, and that really is showing up on the radar around Bellingham to about this point, maybe Mount Vernon, and then really just some isolated showers around Everett, Seattle, Renton. But everybody's going to have at least some sprinkles because of the wind support is causing at least some uplift to give you a few sprinkles. So that really just means around Seattle North, please just count on some raindrops or maybe the fact of a light shower or some mist. Mostly just for the morning. We are in the 40s now. And then into the afternoon, there will still be a little bit lingering there, but it's really only going to be an isolated shower or two, especially north of Seattle. So we'll look for mostly cloudy conditions. It'll be drier and still in the low to mid 50s, a little bit above average, say about 54, 53, and 52 is normal for today. Tomorrow we have some very light rain coming in. It's a warm front, which tends to be longer lasting, lighter precipitation. I think we'll see pockets of that at times tomorrow. And then into the weekend, just a few showers Saturday. That's your drier day with increasing rain Sunday. All 3 days in the 50s. But next week will be cooler in the mid-40s with snow levels really coming down. And I do think there'll be pockets of wet snow out there at times, especially Tuesday and Wednesday. A lot of snow for the mountains, which is fantastic. But we're not quite done yet. We still got that chance for some wet snow, maybe as early as Monday, if not then into Tuesday and Wednesday.
Any accumulations?
I don't think so. No, I think that chance is... Well, put it this way. Even if we did, it would be brief, it'd be slushy, it'd be overnight, then it'd be in the mid-40s during the day and melt, much like we had a couple of weeks ago. So I don't think so at this point. It's kind of early. I'll make sure to update you when I'm off next week.
Thank you very much.
Oh, sure.
It's cloudy and 45 in Seattle right now.
Time to check traffic now. Here's Chris Sullivan.
Definitely seeing some slowing out there already this morning on southbound I-5 as you approach the Northgate Force Merged. We've got a backup that begins right around 145th. We've already got 45 minutes to go from Everett to Seattle, so about a 10-minute delay. It's only 35 to 40 from Everett down into Bellevue. Brake lights starting to show up in Canyon Park. Northbound I-5, heavy from the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. I've been looking for something in the CD lanes there, getting off at the downtown exits. Haven't found it yet, but either way, we're running over 40 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Over 40 as well from Puyallup to Renton, and not only are we braking in Auburn, there's also heavy slowing at the north end from 180th on in. Northbound 405 through those Renton S-curves is already off to the races. 20 minutes to make your drive there. Across the lake, we're still doing really well. Olympia to Tacoma, nice and easy. 35 minutes or less. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Visit Subaru of Puyallup for friendly experts, transparent pricing, genuine care, and savings during a Subaru Lot to Love event going on now through March 31st. SubaruofPuyallup.com. I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Oh, people in Bothell could be trapped in their neighborhoods the next 2 weekends. The state is closing I-405 both directions right near Highway 522.
And Sully, you have some details for us.
Yeah, this is going to be brutal the next 2 weekends. WashDOT is taking down the old ramp from northbound 405 to westbound 522. It needs to close the freeway to do it because that ramp crosses both directions of the freeway. If you're watching on our YouTube Live, I shot some video out there from along the freeway as we're coming along here in the middle. If you're seeing it, that it's that middle section there that they're replacing, and so the plan was to close the entire freeway from Friday night into Monday morning this weekend. But WashDOT thinks it can get the work done this weekend from Saturday into Monday.
We really wanted to try to keep traffic moving as much as we can, so the full closure will start at 6 p.m. on Saturday, March 7th. And we'll go until 4 a.m. on Monday morning.
Lauren Penning with WashDOT says all northbound traffic will be taken off the freeway at 522 and then back on the freeway at 522. Not too bad of a detour, just an on and off. But that detour won't be ready when the closure starts on Saturday. And here's where a little wrinkle comes in. WashDOT wants to add a second lane to that northbound off-ramp down to 522 to handle more cars when it's closed.
We're going to be restriping that ramp so that we can accommodate 2 lanes of traffic through the detour, which will really help keep that flowing a little bit better and help that detour route perform better.
Until that striping is finished, northbound drivers will be diverted to eastbound 522 to Woodinville, then back to 405 via neighborhood streets up to 195th. Now, if all of that was completely confusing, and I get it, detour maps of all of this are available at mynorthwest.com, so you can check out exactly what they're doing initially on Saturday night and then during the closure through Sunday to Monday, and then what it's going to look like on southbound. Because the southbound detour is the one that has the potential to trap people in their Bothell neighborhoods. All southbound traffic is going to be diverted off 405 at SR 527 in Canyon Park. Drivers will then have to go through downtown Bothell and back to 405 via eastbound 522. That's a lot of cars on a road that's only one lane in sections.
And we want to remind people if they are taking that detour route to be mindful that there are people living there. Try not to block driveways, pay attention to the uniformed police officers as they're directing traffic through that area. We're all trying to keep everybody moving as much as we can.
WashDOT's Penning says uniformed officers will be out there as often as they can be, mostly during the daytime hours. But this is a place you're going to want to avoid.
We are anticipating there to be about an hour delay at the peak times. That's really the best case scenario. And that's if people make other plans, kind of stay away, try to do what they can to minimize the amount of traffic going through there, just because it is a really challenging, high impactful closure.
An hour is the best case.
Yeah,
especially for those folks that live there along the west side of 405. And now next weekend, drivers can expect the same delays. The freeway's going to be closed again, but this time from Friday through Monday.
The next weekend will be a little different. We have a bigger section that we have to remove. And so those closures will start overnight on Friday and go until Monday morning. But we do have the opportunity to open southbound 405 early on that second Sunday.
So we'll have to see how things go. So what is WashDOT doing that requires so much pain for our region? Well, it's building a new northbound 405 bridge between the current freeway. The first 10 girders have actually been put in place. This is going to allow WashDOT to add a lane in each direction of 405 between 522 and 527. That lane will be added to the express toll system. The project also adds direct access ramps to the toll lanes from 522, so you can go right into them. Construction should be complete in 2028. So there's going to be a lot of construction going on in that entire corridor. A lot more closures coming throughout this, but this weekend, next weekend are going to be rough.
What do you think your ratio of good news to bad news choke points is?
Well, I believe this is good news because I'm warning you.
Okay.
No.
And it'll be great when it's done in
probably 65-35,
right?
maybe. Yeah, I'm usually not the bearer of good news, but my goal is to warn as many people as possible, as early as possible, to try to keep you out of here. Just because, especially in the neighborhoods. I mean, that whole community, if you've not been there, that whole community south of 228th all the way down, there are apartments and houses and stores. And
My brother lives there. And
they're just throwing them up all over the development after. And then you get to that one little section that's about 3/4 of a mile long into downtown Bothell that's only one lane. Kind of snakes down there. You know, there's I think a dog and cat boarding place off in the woods to the right there. And it's just, it's not a place where thousands and thousands of cars were designed to go.
People love it there.
And downtown Bothell has overgone a huge transformation over the last years.
Here's how we make this a positive, Sully. What's the payoff here after years of construction and gridlock? What do they expect to happen?
Well, they're hoping to ease up in the morning, primarily the southbound 405 drive, which is the section that hits the $15 almost daily now because there's so many people going that direction. This will add some capacity, so hopefully get more people out of the GP lanes, get some people in there that can afford, and maybe we won't hit 15 as much. Maybe the general purpose lanes will roll a little bit better, so we get a little more capacity going there. In the afternoon, same deal. So that's the goal.
See, I found a positive here.
Well,
I'm known for my optimism.
It'll be positive in 2 years when we do the choke point saying, hey, guess what? It's not choking anymore.
Yeah, and by that time, I'm sure the express toll rate max will probably be 18, as I'm sure they'll be voting to change that.
Okay,
here.
Mr. Negative again.
Come on, man.
I'm trying to just... sorry, I'm just too honest, and I want you guys to be prepared. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to probably vote on that maybe next year. But anyway, yeah, this big pain, but big change. And what they're doing here is a little faster and cheaper overall than what you might have done in the past, which is that's a spaghetti area of overpasses and whatnot, and they would just tear the whole thing out, shut it all down, and then build an entirely new interchange there. But it's hard to do that because of the water right below, the height of where the freeway is, the topography, the environmental work that would have been done. So this is the best they can do. And the good news is a lot of this, if not most of this money, is coming from tolls over the last that people have been doing it since because all the money up and above what we pay to run the tolling system that still goes to that Texas company, if we want to talk about that, that money has to go back into the corridor, and they're using that toll money to help provide this project.
That's positive.
So that's positive as well. It's not like they're taking a bunch of money from somewhere else. They're using the money that's there and going into that corridor. But yeah, it's going to be rough, and you'll get through it. But just check out mynorthwest.com to get a better handle on what the detours are going to look like, the hours specifically, and you'll get through it okay.
Okay, as you're hitting refresh on your traffic map, we had an issue with the Edmonds-Kingston Ferry yesterday. Got back to normal. The Walla Walla took a hard landing at the Edmonds dock yesterday and was pulled from service. No one was hurt, but with only one boat running, drivers faced 2-hour waits on both sides. They had a couple afternoon sailings canceled while crews checked the damage. Coast Guard gave the green light for the Walla Walla to return around 5:30 yesterday.
It's 6:23. Let's get back to the roads now. Sullivan.
Let's just admit it.
Sully?
That's okay. Just admit that that Charlie likes saying Walla Walla.
Walla Walla, Washington.
The town's so nice they named it twice.
Walla Walla. Looking at the drive now, we have found it. There is a crash on northbound I-5 right around Seneca, right into the heart of downtown in the left-hand lane. And that's why we are seeing a pretty sizable backup from the north end of Boeing Field working our way into downtown, and why we're already up over 50 minutes to make it from Federal Way to Seattle. So that is about a 10-minute delay there. Northbound 405, the S-curves are very active this morning. A lot of people heading out early. Got about a 25 to 30-minute trip already to Bellevue. Spillover onto the Valley Freeway is legit. About 45 minutes now from Puyallup to Renton. Olympia to Tacoma is not too bad. Lake Bridges are fine. Coming down from the north end, kind of an average day to start. 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. This report brought to you by the Seattle RV Show. Don't miss the Seattle RV Show, March 12th through the 15th at Lumen Field Events Center. Shop over 400 new models for every budget and lifestyle. Get tickets, seattlervshow.com.
Our forecast, mostly cloudy for today. 51, might see a few spotty showers in the afternoon, but sun breaks too. For tomorrow, light rain early on, 52. And then Saturday, looks like just a few showers. Sunday will be a little bit wetter. Right now in Seattle, we have cloudy skies. It's 45 degrees. And coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on some new information. We're learning about a suspect in a 2022 murder in Purdy. We'll also get to your opening bell report here on Seattle's Morning News.
Now, a word for the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. You have spent decades building something, not just a retirement account, a legacy. Money you want to pass on, use for the people you love, deploy on your own terms. So here's the question. Are you okay with 30, maybe 40% of that going to taxes? Because that's what can happen without the right planning. If you have saved more than $300,000, the team at Boss Retirement Solutions in Seattle can show you strategies to protect a significant chunk of that. They are offering a free retirement tax savings analysis. No pressure, no obligation. Call them, 206-210-1350, 206-210-1350. What you built should go where you want it to go. Boss Retirement Solutions, 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
The John Curley Show.
When people sit there and they see people with the American flag and they're utterly disgusted because they associate the flag and USA with Donald Trump, don't do that. You're doing yourself an amazing disservice.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You could dislike Donald Trump, but you can still love America. It's like discounting Photograph from Nickelback, which is actually a pretty good song. Think of the fact that you love this country, and what you love about it is it's inclusive. Good. Include others.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
High five. Up top.
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Hey there, Dawn Riding with Olympic Hot Tub. We're ready to clear our warehouse. This is a rare chance to save thousands on new and floor model hot tubs featuring our saltwater hot spring spas. Plus, outstanding deals on endless pool swim spas, Tilo saunas, and our great selection of pre-owned tubs. Warehouse clearance savings in all 8 Olympic showrooms now until March 8th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
The Outwardly Appliance Clearance Center, now open in Kent, offering warehouse sale pricing year-round. Up to 70% off closeout, scratch and dents, overstock, and floor models from all top manufacturers. The Outwardly Appliance Clearance Center in Kent. Visit outwardly.biz.
Yikey Wawa.
What?
My hot water.
Yeah?
Not so hot.
Water heater trouble?
It's not working.
We can fix that.
This week?
How about today?
Apollo Plumbing really is ready right now.
Especially when it comes to water heater replacement.
Think I need a new one?
Is it more than 10 years old?
It is.
Probably so.
Doesn't heat like it used to.
It runs out?
All the time.
That's a warning sign.
Uh-oh.
So are little leaks.
But Apollo can get me a new one?
Installed today by our clean screen trained and trusted plumbers. They're water heater experts.
But I probably got to pay a rush fee.
No extra charge.
You make this too easy.
We'll even haul off the old one.
A new water heater.
Same day. That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
This is going to get my budget in hot water.
Got you covered there too.
How?
Our available payment plans.
I don't have to wait?
Or take cold showers.
You are a lifesaver.
Call us this morning. You'll have hot water today.
That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
At Subaru of Puyallup, enjoy a truly stress-free shopping and buying experience. Friendly experts, transparent pricing, and genuine care. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st, enjoy extra savings. Visit your stress-free dealership today. SubaruofPuyallup.com.
Aetna was there for me as I was going through a rough medical patch this year. I had peace of mind, which helped with my healing.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with the latest in online tools for easier access to healthcare. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:31. This morning, we have the chilling body camera video that shows a tense exchange between the man accused of killing 4 women in Pierce County last week.
We also have reaction from a family member. They are now raising money for one of the victim's granddaughters. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey here with more.
Yeah, Charlie and Manda, back in 2022, Gig Harbor police pulled over Alex Shablinkin on a simple traffic stop. Shablinkin is the 32-year-old man who stabbed those 4 women, including his own mother, Zoya Shiblikina, last week. It was an odd and tense exchange with police. Take a listen.
I have paperwork and documented, notarized and thumbprinted that I am no longer a person or a human. I am operating under land and soil jurisdiction as a living man.
So it appears Shablinkin was claiming to be a sovereign citizen and didn't need a license to drive. Well, police gave him a ticket and told him to get someone to pick him up. Then Shablinkin appeared to threaten them a little bit.
Do you know how much I'm worth?
I don't care how much you're worth.
Because it's going to come out of your paycheck
No.
for all these crimes. Yes, it will. Because I have documents.
No.
Yes. You want to find that?
Yeah, fast forward to now. Deputies shot and killed Shablinkin at the scene there in Purdy, Gig Harbor area. His family says he was homeless, living in tents in the backyards of family members, and then he was mentally ill and delusional. Well, now there's a GoFundMe site for the granddaughter of one of the victims, Zoya Sheblikina. The granddaughter's name is Anna. She's 11 years old. The money is for special counseling for Anna. A family spokesperson, Robert Knowles, tells me Anna was actually really close with her uncle.
Kind of traumatizing for her and her uncle had a really tight relationship. Alex just never judged her, and she always felt really safe and comfortable with him and talked to him a lot.
However, Anna and her mother, he says, noticed a decline in Uncle Alex early last year.
Anna was there with her mom last April, and they witnessed how far gone, he was at that time. I didn't.
Robert also told me about the victim, Zoya, who moved here from Siberia, where she and her husband lived on $15 a month. They moved here, provided for the kids, the grandkids. She was known as a very kind woman by everyone in her neighborhood.
Okay, Luke, thank you for that. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson taking steps to tackle what she calls her number one priority, homelessness. We get the details from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
Mayor Wilson says she has sent 3 new pieces of legislation to the City Council, which would quickly expand emergency housing and shelter with supportive services. The legislation would expedite lease agreements, expand shelter capacity, and allocate funds to make it all happen.
This package of legislation will provide us the tools we need to make good on my commitment to open 1,000 units of shelter and emergency housing this year.
The mayor says the money will come from underutilized city fund sources. She spoke for just 8.5 minutes, then left without taking a single question about what she calls her top priority. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Everett Mayor Cassie Franklin is set to deliver the 2026 State of the City address this afternoon. She recently signed a controversial order affecting immigration enforcement. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin has more.
It includes prohibiting the police department from participating in immigration enforcement, that recent order that she put out. Last month, Franklin signed an order restricting federal immigration agent access to city facilities without a warrant. That order requires signs on city property and reporting of any enforcement activity there.
That address is scheduled for 5 o'clock tonight, and there will be a special guest.
The pride of Archbishop Murphy High School.
Right?
Super Bowl champion Abe Lucas.
Isn't that awesome?
Our right tackle for the Seahawks. Yeah, he's starting this off with a comment there and kind of opening the State of the City address up in Everett. That's awesome.
Okay, well, Sully, you are always such a beacon of positivity and warmth and joy. How's traffic looking?
Terrible. Actually, yeah, it's not great. I want to thank Randy. You let me know that we do have a crash in the left lane. It's closer to where the express lanes on northbound I-5 peel off, and that's why we're backed up to the middle of Boeing Field, already close to an hour to make the drive from Federal Way to Seattle, 15 minutes behind schedule. We are already at an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, with 40 minutes away from Linwood. Heavy day to start. Northbound 405 getting closer to a half an hour. Valley Freeway is the only spot that's kind of hanging on. It's about 45 minutes. There are heavy brake lights approaching the First Avenue South Bridge as well, for those of you on northbound 509. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, just mostly cloudy for today. Might see a spotty shower in the afternoon with some sun breaks, though, too, and 51. Tomorrow, cloudy, occasional showers, and 52. Saturday, it looks like the showers will come in the morning, but drying out for the afternoon. Back to the rain on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, we have cloudy skies. It's 45.
Time for the opening bell report. The International Monetary Fund says it is keeping a close eye on the financial impacts of the war on Iran.
IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva says it's a time of repetitive shocks and higher uncertainty.
The global economic resilience is tested yet again by the new conflict in the Middle East.
She spoke at the Asia in 2050 conference in Bangkok. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News.
A New York judge's ruling deals a blow to the Trump administration on tariffs.
Just last month, the Supreme Court struck down sweeping double-digit import taxes President Trump imposed last year under the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Loyola Law School professor Lori Levinson says now
the Trump administration suffered another loss when Judge Eaton on the U.S. Court of International Trade held that all importers of record were entitled to refunds on their tariffs.
The ruling offers some clarity about the tariff refund process, something the Supreme Court did not mention in its February 20th decision. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Wall Street perked up yesterday as oil prices cooled off.
U.S. crude futures flattened out following big rallies this week, and investors got added help from the Institute for Supply Management's Services Index, expanding for the 20th straight month in February, indicating continuing growth in the U.S. economy. Semiconductor stocks fueled the rally, with memory chip makers rebounding after getting hammered during a sharp sell-off in South Korea's stock market this week. The Dow gained 238 points to 48,739. The Nasdaq surged higher by 290 points to 22,807, and the S&P advanced higher by 52 points to 6869. Jason Brooks, CBS News.
We told you yesterday Starbucks is expanding into Nashville later this year with a new corporate office in Tennessee. Well, the company is keeping its headquarters here in SoDo as it offers dozens of local employees a chance to relocate. The move is part of a worrying trend for Downtown Seattle Association CEO and President John Scholes.
We're in a super competitive marketplace when it comes to locating and growing jobs in Seattle, and we haven't added jobs in the last year. In fact, we've lost jobs. And we've seen a lot of job growth on the other side of the lake.
Scholes says he can't comment on the company's expansion to Nashville, but he notes job losses in Seattle coincide with new business taxes along with mass layoffs by the big tech companies.
And Seattle small businesses say staying open is getting harder. A new survey found 2/3 of owners feel more financial pressure now than during COVID. KIRO 7 spoke with a local jewelry store owner who says people just don't have any extra money to spend.
No one wants to think that they can't buy something that they want to have. But when you don't have the money, you have to pay your rent or you have to feed yourself. Clothing and shoes are on the bottom of the list.
She says many local owners are feeling the same pressure.
And the feds have expanded a recall of frozen food products due to possible glass contamination. According to the Seattle Times, the recall now affects frozen fried rice, vegetable fried rice, shumai dumplings, and more, sold nationwide under Trader Joe's and other brands.
Okay, on Wall Street right now, the Dow has dropped 269 points. Oil prices seems to be the driver behind this. S&P 5, now it's down 303, so there you go. S&P 500 down 19 points, and the NASDAQ down 55, which is 0.24%.
It's now 6:39. Start your day with solutions, not problems. KIRO 7 pinpoint weather and real-time traffic every 10 minutes. From downpours to backups, whatever's waiting for you when you head out the door. KIRO 7 News in the morning will get you prepared. Stay up to the minute every 10 minutes. Watch KIRO 7 News in the morning, 4:30 to 7 a.m.
Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we got a 20-minute delay. Northbound I-5 trying to get into the heart of downtown. We'll break it down next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Join in on the conversation by sending a text to 888-973-5476. That's 888-973-KIRO.
Advanced Hair Restoration, the simple one-day hair loss solution that's guaranteed to regrow your own natural hair. AdvancedHair.com. AdvancedHair.com.
6:43. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic.
20-minute delay now getting into downtown Seattle. We have a crash just before the express lanes peel off on the left-hand side there, right as you get into downtown. And we're backed up to the middle of Boeing Field, already an hour from Federal Way to Seattle, which is 20 minutes slower than you might have expected. Northbound 509 also caught up, looking at about a mile back up, approaching the First Avenue South Bridge, which still has 2 right lanes blocked. We have northbound 405 being very active at this point through the S-curves and also up to about 44th. Give yourself about 28 minutes to make it up to Bellevue. Behind that, the Valley Freeway's okay. 45 minutes for you guys. And in fact, most of Pierce County is doing all right at this point. Even that northbound I-5 drive up past the Kent Des Moines Road coming up from Tacoma. So okay there. Coming down from the north end, different story, but about what you've gotten used to. 40-minute trips out of Linwood. Brake lights for 405 start right there in Linwood, go down through Bothell. For I-5, they start at 145th in North Seattle and go all the way in. So hour all the way from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast for your Thursday, just a mostly cloudy day, maybe spotty showers in the afternoon, but some sunbreaks too, 51. We'll see some light rain for tomorrow at times, 52, and then Saturday, just a few showers, mainly in the morning hours. Sunday looks like the wettest day of the weekend. Right now in Seattle, it is mostly cloudy at 44.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us with this week's Tech Talk, a look at the cyber war underway between the U.S., Israel, and Iran.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute, non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendinitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's right, their body's own stem cells.
So whether it's a hip like me, an elbow, shoulder, or knee.
Don't forget ankles, wrists, and thumbs.
Yep, those patients too. Before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD first. Learn more at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
6:47 Thursday morning. In today's Tech Talk, there is a new battlefield quickly forming between Israel, the United States, and Iran.
All three sides are weaponizing technology, including AI. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey reports it's being used to pinpoint both conventional and cyber attacks.
At the same time, there is ongoing debate on the ethical use of AI here in the United States.
It's important to know that America's adversaries are not having this debate about whether to use AI in warfare or national security. They're already doing it, and they're already doing it at machine speed.
Former Microsoft cyber law expert and now owner of Advancing Cyber, Kristen Flynn Goodwin, says China is reportedly using AI in their satellites, in space, and seabed sensors to help track activity in the South China Sea, while Russia and Ukraine are using AI in their drones.
Drones use machine vision, they use autonomous navigation, and it helps them bypass jamming because they're so small, to help speed up attacks on the battlefield.
Experts say Iran is now deploying similar technology, including drone strikes on U.S. embassies in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and a consulate in Dubai. Cybersecurity experts are warning of potential cyber attacks from Iran as well, given its proven ability to attack and infiltrate U.S. infrastructure from banks and healthcare systems to the oil supply and water treatment facilities.
It's in every major battle space around the world. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, all the big adversaries that the United States has.
And Flynn Goodwin says for the U.S. military,
so you have to expect and in fact demand that the United States would be prepared to do the same, or else our defenses would be weaker.
In fact, two sources familiar with the U.S. military's use of AI confirm they used Anthropic's Claude AI model over the weekend for the attack on Iran and is still using it, despite a government ban on Anthropic technology announced after a dispute last week with the Pentagon. The conflict centered around Anthropic's push for guardrails that would explicitly prevent the military from using Claude to conduct mass surveillance on Americans or to power fully autonomous weapons. Regardless, there is a new battlefield driven by technology.
We can take confidence in the fact that AI is not going away, and we've got a lot of folks that are thinking really hard about how to make sure that it's being used to protect the U.S. interests going forward.
You know, there's been talk that someday, we would see a battlefield dominated by technology. I mean, guess what?
The day's here.
It's here. We're watching it in real time.
Have we learned nothing? War games. Remember the movie War Games? Would you like to play
absolutely.
a game? Thermonuclear war. I'm not saying by any means we shouldn't have the best technology available. Of course we should. But at the same time, guardrails, it seems it is fraught with problems. Danger without guardrails on the AI.
Absolutely. And then, though, you have to take into consideration, this is what is Flynn Goodwin's the point she's also trying to make is if your adversaries, though, are not playing by those same guardrails, what do? I mean, you have to meet force with force. I would think.
Go ahead.
No, I just I think that's how we built up the whole nuclear nightmare that we have across the world right now.
You're not wrong.
Everybody's got a nuke because they have one, we must have one, and that seems so destructive and dangerous.
It is.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but can you add any more about the whole battle over Anthropic and why they're still using it when it's supposedly banned?
It's a good question. The Pentagon won't answer questions about that, but according to military sources, they are using it. I mean, you probably saw the CEO of Anthropic
it's
recently
a mess.
come out and say, we don't want the U.S. using this. I mean, there have been other instances of tech companies in these circumstances before. Google with their Project Maven project using AI for facial recognition along the border. And, employees said, we don't want that technology being used, and they backed off that. Same thing with Anthropic using Claude. But, the military is apparently using it.
But so what?
But you know what?
Take us to court? I mean, would this be a legal battle?
Yeah, it'd have to be, right? It would have to be. But, our adversaries are also using that same technology. These tech companies, these AI companies, using AI to do the cyber attacks for them. So it's
the new Wild Wild West.
It is the Wild Wild West.
And how do you sandbox that too? Because the servers have to be communicated with that operate the AI. How do we know that somebody at Claude isn't seeing, here's our secret war plans for Iran? There seem to be so many issues here.
A ton. Yeah, and all of them are valid because this technology is so brand stinking new.
Yeah, all right. At least Luke validates me, Manda.
Oh, yeah. I won't. But he can. Is this up at My Northwest yet?
It will be today.
Okay, good.
Look forward to that. It's 6:53, and Chris Sullivan has traffic on the threes for us.
Like many of our listeners, my eyes just glassed over as soon as I just saw Terminators going across the field. That was all I could think of.
It's really wild.
Are you Sarah Connor?
Yeah, that's all I could think of. And we're here.
Yeah, we're here.
Northbound I-5, we are looking at no Terminators there, but we do have a left lane blocked right as you get up to the exit to the express lanes, and that's why we are backed up to the middle of Boeing Field, and we have an hour drive from Federal Way to Seattle, which is about 20 minutes slower than it needs to be or should be at this point. So big time delays there. Northbound 509's no picnic either as you try to work your way up to the First Avenue South Bridge. Rented to Bellevue, already a half an hour. The Valley Freeway is getting closer to 50 minutes now. We have brake lights in right there at Auburn. You get out of them okay, and then at the north end as well. Coming down from Snohomish County, it's the typical drive we've gotten used to. It's about 40 minutes plus from Linwood to Seattle, Linwood to Bellevue, an hour, maybe a little bit more, all the way from Everett. And for 405, it's actually probably even a little worse. And of course,
it's a reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
$15 in that southbound 405 express toll lane now away from Linwood. Olympia to Tacoma looks really good. The Lake Bridges are also in fine shape. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, nothing too threatening today, just mostly cloudy. Might see some spotty showers in the afternoon hours, but some sun breaks too. 51. Tomorrow, look for occasional showers in 52. For the weekend, yes, I said weekend, we're almost there. Few showers Saturday, mainly in the morning, 54 the high, and then Sunday, looks like we're going to see more steady rain. Right now in Seattle, it is partly cloudy and 44.
Coming up, the 7:35 commentary about 40 minutes away. There was a 9-year-old boy in a tent, a mom smoking fentanyl beside him, and a system that couldn't or wouldn't step in. When lawmakers tried to fix it on Saturday night, one called the testimony about dead children lurid Republican talking points. I'll talk about that in my 7:35 commentary.
We'll also have more on Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson's big plan to tackle homelessness in the city.
You can always text us, 888-973-5476 on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line.
The John Curley Show.
When people sit there and they see people with the American flag and they're utterly disgusted because they associate the flag and USA with Donald Trump, don't do that. You're doing yourself an amazing disservice.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You could dislike Donald Trump, but you can still love America. It's like discounting Photograph from Nickelback, which is actually a pretty good song. Think of the fact that you love this country, and what you love about it is it's inclusive. Good. Include others.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered. and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
John Curley here. A Lennox heat pump does the work of a furnace and air conditioner. And right now, get Lennox heating and cooling for the price of AC. For heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, call the Comfort People Home Comfort Alliance. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Got a Tesla, EV, or hybrid that needs repairs or maintenance? Take it to the experts at A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue, the new dealer alternative for your EV or hybrid. Visit A&M Auto Repair at myevpros.com or call 425-96-EV-FIX.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision doctors have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when it's your right time for RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Gray whales are back in the Salish Sea. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. Don't miss Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Day 6 of war, and Israel issues a mass evacuation warning for all of Beirut's southern suburbs. Fighting is escalating with Iran-allied Hezbollah militants as the U.S. and Israel batter Iran with nationwide strikes targeting leadership and the nation's nuclear program. Correspondent Charlie D'Agata is in Tel Aviv.
Another noisy morning as Iran has continued to try to target Israel. Israel's defense have been able to intercept the incoming missiles. The Iranian military actually showed video, what they say were missiles that were targeting the airport here.
Today, Iran warned the U.S. would bitterly regret torpedoing an Iranian warship off Sri Lanka. Many Americans say they're still trapped in the Middle East. CBS's Imtiaz Tayeb spoke with Oliver Sims at the airport in Doha.
Have you been in touch with the State Department? I have, yes, but it's just kind of all over the place. Are you angry at anyone? I'm not angry. I am definitely just disappointed in the way that U.S. citizens here are being taken care of or lack of.
The UN's International Maritime Organization says about 15,000 cruise ship passengers are stuck in the Gulf region. The nation's largest ICE detention center may be closing its doors.
ICE plans to close the more than $1 billion immigration detention center at the Army's Fort Bliss near El Paso, Texas. According to the Washington Post, Robert Held is a lawyer who has represented clients at the facility.
My enthusiasm is tempered by the fact that we don't have a closing date. I think the practical likely answer is that they'll be moved to a different facility.
The El Paso Immigration Detention Center, the biggest in the country was opened 8 months ago. Jim Kursula, CBS News.
Health Secretary Kennedy is taking on Dunkin' and Starbucks over their sweet caffeinated drinks, questioning why it's okay for a teenage girl to drink an iced coffee with 115 grams of sugar. Medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder.
This isn't about any one brand. Ultra-processed foods and beverages are bad for you regardless of who sells them. Sugar-sweetened beverages in particular are a leading source of added sugar.
Lots of kids turning to AI for friendship. Researchers say that's not always a bad thing. CBS's Michael George.
72% of American children have used AI as a companion. Researchers from Children's Hospital of Philadelphia say there are both risks and benefits from kids using AI. They found AI storytelling can support language development and vocabulary. However, children have a tough time identifying misinformation shared by AI.
This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at jtv.com.
Okay. It's 7:03. Let's check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
We've settled into a rather typical Thursday out there. Brake lights right where they should be. The one outlier is northbound I-5, trying to get into the heart of downtown. This crash is in the HOV lane just before you peel off to the express lane, so right there in the heart of downtown, and that's why we are backed up from the middle of Boeing Field and why we're running a little over an hour from Federal Way to Seattle, which is about 15 minutes slower than we've gotten used to through the Revive I-5 work. Northbound 509 struggling with about 1.5 to 2 mile backup getting into the First Avenue South Bridge. That's because the two right lanes remain blocked. Looking at northbound 167, definitely heavy from about well before 180th actually now into downtown. So the good news is it's not bad in Auburn. So overall the travel time isn't terrible, 50 minutes or less from Puyallup to Renton. Then Renton to Bellevue is about a half an hour. Across the lake we're still good, starting to see some slowing across Tiger Mountain, and out of the north end we're definitely running behind. We've got about a 45-minute trip from Linwood to Seattle or Linwood to Bellevue. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Find your pot of gold at Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Save up to 20% plus enjoy 12 months same as cash financing. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is unveiling her first step to help end the city's homelessness crisis.
However, critics are already weighing in after the mayor refused to answer questions about that plan.
And joining us live to talk about it is KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, this was one of the most important issues on her campaign trail. Yesterday, she delivered an 8.5-minute speech, then walked away. No questions.
This package of legislation will provide us the tools we need to make good on my commitment to open 1,000 units of shelter and emergency housing this year.
Wilson says she has sent 3 pieces of legislation to City Council to kickstart her vision to help solve the homeless crisis in the city, to quickly open 1,000 new shelter beds and emergency housing with wraparound services, but also to expedite lease agreements for shelters and tiny home communities, and to expand shelter capacity from 100 people up to 250 people.
That will allow us to quickly open new shelters with supportive services, expand existing successful shelters, and secure the resources to make that all happen.
Critics have a lot of questions, however. We Heart Seattle, a nonprofit that has worked with Seattle's homeless for years, says they hear from people on the streets who are shelter resistant, people doing drugs, living in camps, parks, and RVs who don't want shelters. They don't want to go into a tiny home at all. And Charlie and Manda, there are also questions for people who do live in shelters but spend their days doing drugs in parks and sidewalks. Are there programs for them involved in this? Doesn't seem to be a plan for that. Also, will any of these shelters be clean and sober shelters? Again, a lot of questions, but the mayor just apparently did not want to answer or indulge reporters during her press conference.
After calling out the press to cover her press conference.
Right. Come listen to what we have to say, and didn't answer questions.
Spoke 8.5 minutes and just walked away.
That's right.
Okay, just checking. 7:06 now. Senate Republicans voted down an effort yesterday to halt President Trump's war against Iran.
Here is Mississippi's Roger Wicker.
President Trump decided to attack Iran. That decision was profound, deliberate, and correct.
Washington Democrat Patty Murray spoke out against the war.
Trump is charging ahead with new conflicts without approval from Congress,
without any long-term strategy.
The War Powers resolution failed 47-53.
A former Washington teacher is stuck in Kuwait right now due to the war with Iran.
Lisa Dallas is the principal of Global Bilingual Academy, a K-12 school in Kuwait. She tells the G and Ursula show that on Saturday, she heard explosions and sirens nonstop.
Today, I think I've only heard 2 explosions. So that's fantastic. And I think the sirens only went off about 3 or 4 times.
Dallas is responsible for 1,300 students who, for now, have pivoted to online learning. Frank Lindsay, KIRO Newsradio.
And Lisa is the mother of MyNorthwest.com content editor Julia Dallas.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
We're just going to let Sully rock out for a few minutes there.
That's fine. I'm rocking out.
We all are. It's Thursday.
Sully looks like he's standing next to a mountain over there.
I am, baby.
Gonna chop it down.
It is Friday Eve. It's March 5th. Thanks for being with us. He's Charlie Harger. I'm Manda Factor.
And Amanda, I have to stop getting my push alerts in the studio while doing a newscast. So ABC, they're reporting that Britney Spears was arrested for DUI overnight.
Multiple sources.
Okay.
TMZ has it now,
They
too.
have it now.
The
Then
LA NBC station.
Then Fox News is saying that Savannah Guthrie stopped by the Today Show.
Lots happening this morning.
So a lot is going on. We're on top of it for you here on Seattle's Morning News. World Baseball Classic began yesterday. A couple more games today before that begins in earnest tomorrow. USA, Brazil tomorrow evening, and Cal and the rest of Aaron Judge and the rest of Team USA. Let's go.
That's very cool.
How good to your team must be that Cal Raleigh's batting 6th. I mean, seriously. Wow.
And it's been fun watching these international teams play MLB teams at spring training.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very cool to watch.
Producer David's chuckling. Why?
Because I think Team USA in their they call them exhibition where they're against MLB teams, which you say MLB teams, it's all the kind of third and fourth string spring guys. I think Team USA has been winning 15-0, 20-0.
Yeah, I mean, this is the all-star team going up against, fun to watch. Okay, well, coming up this hour of this show, we are going to head to Jerusalem. That's where we're going to speak live with CBS correspondent Linda Gradstein, see how people there are reacting to the war with Iran.
And what's coming up in the 7:35 commentary?
While lawmakers in Olympia refusing to address the state's shortcomings in child welfare, I'll talk about it at 7:35.
It's now 7:10. The State Department of Transportation just issued an update on the First Avenue South Bridge, and you're not going to like it. KIRO News Radio's Nate Connors has details on a full closure.
On February 18th, crews discovered cracks in the steel deck on the draw span during routine inspections. Since then, 2 right lanes have been closed with a reduced speed limit. A temporary fix gets underway Monday morning with crews reinforcing the cracks and then placing steel plates over them. This will make it safe for drivers to travel across the bridge deck at a reduced speed until the permanent fix scheduled for early 2027. But this comes with a 3-day closure beginning 5 a.m. Monday through 8 p.m. Wednesday. This will send 50,000 daily commuters who rely on this route over to I-5, where drivers are already struggling with our Revive I-5 project at the Ship Canal Bridge. Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
The income tax on millionaires is in trouble, and the problem isn't Republicans. The Washington State Standard reports about a dozen House Democrats are withholding support for the bill with only 59 seats. The Democrats can't afford to lose more than 9, and right now they don't have the votes.
Some holdouts want more funding for child care. Others say the bill doesn't do enough for working families or small businesses. Governor Ferguson has been meeting with skeptical lawmakers and warned he's willing to wait until next year if the bill doesn't change. A new version could come out as soon as today. Democratic leaders insist the bill will pass before the session ends next week, but time is running short.
Firefighters in Lacey rescued 2 dogs in separate incidents over the same weekend. One was a 14-year-old black lab named Boone who slid about 60 feet down a ravine behind his home. Firefighters say his tail was wagging the whole time.
Well, things are about to get interesting in downtown Seattle. Tickets are on sale now for Emerald City Comic Con. It runs the 5th. That's today. through the 8th at the Seattle Convention Center. Here's KIRO 7's Dee Dee Sun on what you can expect.
So here's a look at some of the featured guests in Seattle for panels, autographs, as well as photo ops. You can meet William Shatner and Kyle MacLachlan, as well as Ian Somerhalder.
Meet the creators, attend panels, shop the show floor, and take part in cosplay and photo ops.
Did you say it's March 5th?
I did.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
Okay. We need a man of science to help us out
You'll
with
notice
that.
I did have to check.
Yeah.
And just a programming note, our Paul Holden will have a preview of all the best stuff at Comic-Con.
Right up his alley.
And that's the least surprising thing I've heard all morning.
Does that mean there are a bunch of people running around in costumes
That's
today?
why I said
yeah.
So it's going to look like normal downtown Seattle.
With a twist.
Maybe
and
more
Hayden
swords.
Christensen's there, so that matters more than anything you're saying,
yes.
Sully.
Who?
Boom. Vader could out lightsaber you any day of the week and twice on
Anakin.
Sunday.
Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin.
Yeah, those three movies don't exist to me.
Hi, Nick. Good morning. How's weather looking?
I'm going to need a minute. Okay, I feel better now. It looks pretty good, actually. We just have some drizzle. We have some mist. It's not bad, though. In fact, if you looked at the radar right now, it's pretty much not showing anything, a lot like Sullivan's career. It just has a few sprinkles out there.
Okay, that's it. Game on, hair boy.
You just made fun of Hayden Christensen. Okay, anywho. But the sprinkles that we have in the mist, and that's hair man, I don't know. We have a few sprinkles out there are going to dissipate. And I think what you'll find this afternoon is just mostly cloudy conditions. And I think maybe just a random shower or two, but it's just going to be the morning hours. And then you're mainly dry. Low to mid 50s. It's wetter tomorrow. You'll have only just a couple of showers Saturday, then rain Sunday for sure. And it's cooler. And then next week is much cooler with scattered showers, even some wet snow showers possible. I'd say more, but I think we're out of time. I feel like I went 9 hours defending Hayden.
I think you have made a strategic error being so insulting to Sully.
But that's what I do most days.
Sully has a super fan who is literally a witch. And you might be in trouble. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, then I bow down to Sullivan in all things, and I owe him hours and hours of yard work because he still hasn't raked his leaves.
Touche. But boy, it's really soft and mulchy back there.
That's true. It's going to be good for the earth.
It's 44 right now in Seattle.
All right. How about the traffic, Sully?
Yeah.
Pull yourselves together.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I love you, Sully.
Yeah, I know. Love you too, big man. Looking at the drive now, we do have about a 15-minute delay on northbound I-5 trying to get into the heart of downtown Seattle because of this crash in the HOV lane that's right there before we peel off to the express lanes. And so we got about a 40-minute trip from South Center, an hour all the way. Good news is it's really not too bad from Federal Way up to South Center. Northbound 167, though, kind of going the other direction. We've got a pretty heavy backup getting out of Kent, heading up to 405. It's 30 minutes out of Auburn and 50 all the way from Puyallup. Renton to Bellevue, about a half an hour to 35 minutes, depending on how you hit it. Lake bridges are still fine. Coming down from the north end, kind of the solid grind that we're used to, about 50 minutes now from Linwood down to Seattle or Bellevue, hour and 10 all the way from the Everett area. Olympia to Tacoma, and really most of Pierce County is okay. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the KIRO Newsradio App, listen to your favorite shows, and get the latest news and updates right to your phone.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
7:15, good morning. Thanks for being with us here on Seattle's Morning News. We're having a little fun this morning, but we're also keeping track of very serious news around the world. And the airstrikes between Israel and Iran continue. It is day 6 of conflict in the Middle East.
Israel said it's striking Iran and Hezbollah targets in Beirut. Iran, meanwhile, launched strikes at Israel. Over 1,100 people have died in Iran since the war began. That's according to a U.S.-based human rights agency. Let's get the latest now from CBS's Linda Gradstein, who is in Jerusalem. Linda, what is the tone like right now in Israel?
Well, Iran continued to send missiles at Israel. I think there were either 5 or 6 strikes, and, people were kind of in and out of their safe rooms and their bomb shelters as they've been since the beginning. But there is a sense that it might be easing a little bit. Israel reopened some workplaces, gyms, things like that, although schools are still closed. So parents are asking how are they supposed to go to work if their kids aren't in school. Also, Israel says that it seems that the number of missiles that Iran is launching, I mean, it's spread out over the day and it's every few hours, but the number of missiles being launched is less than it's been in the past couple of days. And Israeli officials said that that either means that they're running out of missiles or that they're saving for a longer conflict. I mean, there's really no sign of anything ending. The embassies are withdrawing their staffs from Bahrain and places like that. Iran launched an attack on a drone attack on Azerbaijan. So the conflict seems to be spreading, but at least in Israel, there's a feeling that it's kind of beginning to ease.
Linda, what are we hearing from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
Well, he hasn't spoken today, but in the last couple of days, he has been very supportive of the attack. He has called for regime change in Iran, which is a potential place where the U.S. and Israel might not be on the same page. And Israel has said that they've carried out hundreds of strikes on Iranian missile infrastructure, and that an Israeli military official said earlier today that thousands of Iranian soldiers have been killed.
Linda, we've been hearing conflicting stories about the remaining amount of missiles for the Golden Dome and other defensive missiles like that. What are you hearing in Israel?
Well, you're talking about the Iron Dome.
I'm sorry. Yes, that's right.
I am not hearing any nervousness about running out of missiles or anything like that. Israel has been very successful at shooting down almost all of the Iranian missiles that have been aimed at Israel. And, these are large ballistic missiles. So if they do hit, as has happened a couple of times since the conflict began on Saturday, the destruction is really widespread. Earlier this week, 9 people were killed in or near a shelter in the town of Beit Shemesh from one of these missiles. And, hundreds and hundreds of apartments have been damaged. People have been evacuated to hotels, things like that. So these are very big missiles. So far, the Iron Dome has been successful at shooting them down, and I'm not hearing at least any nervousness about not having enough missiles.
Linda, here in Seattle, we have seen some demonstrations against the war. Anything like that there?
No, I mean, I just saw a poll that showed that 82% of Israelis support the war, and among Jewish Israelis, the figure is well over 90%. There's some hesitation from Arab citizens of Israel, but where the support is significantly less. But I think, Israel has been under attack by Iran so many times. And in fact, I think 7 months ago, Israel fought a conflict with Iran, a 12-day conflict. And I think there's a sense in Israel that if there's really a chance to, take away the threat of Iran on Israel long term, that it's worth almost, whatever is necessary to do in the war.
And what is the sense there in Israel of taking out that threat? Do they feel like they're getting close to that benchmark?
Well, they feel like they're definitely making progress. But, Iran has spent a very long time building up its nuclear and missile capability. Israel is as concerned about the ballistic missile capability as it is about the nuclear capability. And so I think there's a sense that they're making progress. I think Israelis would like to see Iranians coming out into the streets again, demonstrating for regime change, which so far we haven't seen happening, although, again, I'm not sure that we're really seeing the whole picture of what's happening in Iran. So, Israeli military officials, the army is very upbeat and says, that Israel is making a lot of progress along with the United States. But whether that's really true and how much more there is to go, I'm just not sure.
Linda, thank you so much for the update this morning. CBS's Linda Gradstein with us from Jerusalem.
It is 7:21. The Senate chose not to rein in President Trump's war powers. House expected to vote on the War Powers Act today. Meanwhile, many Americans trying to flee the Middle East say they're now trapped. They say they're not getting the help they need from the U.S. government, and the phone number that was originally given did not offer assistance. However, it has now been updated. Here's CBS's Weijia Jiang.
If you are calling about the crisis in the Middle East, please press 1.
CBS News chief correspondent Matt Gutman called that new line a dozen times alongside Todd and Lisa Eggleston, who are stuck in Israel. The couple from Las Vegas arrived 2 days before the war broke out.
You have reached Middle East Task Force. Please hold for the next available representative.
Okay, holding for the next available representative. And it hung up.
A Marine veteran and U.S. Senate candidate suffered a broken arm as he was removed from a Capitol Hill hearing.
Brian McGinnis is running for Senate in North Carolina on the Green Party line. He interrupted a Senate subcommittee hearing on military readiness to protest the war in Iran.
No one wants to fight for Israel!
His hand! Oh.
As Montana Senator Tim Sheehy helped police push McGinnis out of the hearing, McGinnis's hand got caught in the door jamb and his arm was broken.
A U.S. Senator just broke the hand of a Marine!
McGinnis was charged with assaulting a police officer and resisting arrest. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Well, it's time for traffic on the threes. We check in now with Chris Sullivan.
We are still struggling. Northbound I-5 trying to get into the heart of downtown. It looks like it used to before the lane configurations for Revive I-5. We're bumper to bumper from the beginnings of Boeing Field all the way into downtown. Left lane, or make that the HOV lane, is blocked as you're approaching the express lanes exit right in the heart of downtown just before Seneca. We've jumped up to 45 minutes now from South Center and an hour and 10 all the way from Federal Way. So that's a 20-minute delay minimum through the area. It's now safe to get back on Airport Way if you want to work your way through, because a crash we had there kind of mid-Boeing Field is out of the way, so no issues there anymore. 509 northbound is not a good option. If you haven't driven it for the last couple of weeks, 2 right lanes remain blocked on the First Avenue South Bridge, and you are really struggling. We've got about a 2-mile backup today. That's become the norm. Northbound 405, about 35 minutes now as the S-curves are very active, and we're starting to see some stuff into the south end of Bellevue. The Valley Freeway, about 50 minutes from end to end. Good news is it's not bad in Auburn, but it is really slow at the far north end, so it's still 30 minutes from Highway 18 up into 405. Surprisingly today, and that's a good thing, Pierce County and Thurston County are quiet. That's good. So let's try to keep that going. Now out of the north end, different story. Hour and 10-minute trips with more than 50 away from Linwood to get you down into Seattle or into Bellevue. This report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Visit Subaru of Puyallup for friendly experts, transparent pricing, genuine care, and savings during the Subaru Lot to Love event going on now through March 31st. SubaruofPuyallup.com.
Forecast mostly cloudy, 51 today, maybe a few light showers in the afternoon, but some sun breaks too. Tomorrow, as we wrap up the week, light rain throughout the day and 52. So far, the weekend looks like Sunday will be the wet day. Right now in Seattle, it's 44 degrees.
On the way, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey. More details being revealed about a murder investigation in Purdy last week. And in today's 7:35 commentary, a big failure in Olympia to address child welfare.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
2 competing budget proposals.
Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again!
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Parango and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
A new year means more than just a clean calendar. It's new goals, opportunities, and fresh momentum for your business. Are you with the right bank to set you up for success? WaFd Bank has you covered with free business checking, credit cards, lines of credit, and other services to move your business forward. WaFd offers the latest in payment processing and cash flow tools for just the right fit to meet your goals. Plus, WaFd Bank is an SBA preferred lender. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loan subject to credit approval. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply.
Hey there, Dawn riding with Olympic Hot Tub. We're ready to clear our warehouse. This is a rare chance to save thousands on new and floor model hot tubs featuring our saltwater hot spring spas. Plus, outstanding deals on endless pool swim spas, Tilo saunas, and our great selection of pre-owned tubs. Warehouse clearance savings in all 8 Olympic showrooms now until March 8th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Hot Tub.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Great decisions start with knowing your options. Lake Washington Windows and Doors are built to perform. Their windows are 25% more efficient than Energy Star standards, cut noise up to 50%, and are designed with low-maintenance clean glass technology. While most window frames are hollow, theirs feature Comfort Core insulation for superior energy efficiency. Find your pot of gold with up to 20% in savings and 12-month financing with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com. A name you can trust.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident Book Series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
John Curley here. Did you know that a new Lennox heat pump is a smart choice for total home comfort? That's right. One heat pump does the work of a furnace and air conditioner. And if your system's over 12 years old, it's on borrowed time and could be costing you up to 20% more than today's ultra-efficient models. Get Lennox heating and cooling for the price of AC. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com. For heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical, call the Comfort People. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Where you buy your vehicle matters. At Subaru of Puyallup, it's about safety for every drive, confidence in every season, and a buying experience that is stress-free. It starts with friendly experts who listen and continues with stress-free pricing, an easy process, and a genuine care that lasts the life of your Subaru. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st, enjoy extra savings. Subaru of Puyallup, part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
It is 7:31. And this morning, we are seeing chilling police body camera video showing a tense exchange with a man accused of killing 4 women in Pierce County last week.
We're also hearing from a family member who says they're now raising money to help one of the victim's granddaughters.
We get more live from KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, back in 2022, Gig Harbor police pulled over Alex Shablekin on a simple traffic stop. He is the 32-year-old man who stabbed those 4 women, including his own mother, Zoya Shiblakina, last week. Well, it appears Shablekin was claiming to be a sovereign citizen with police and didn't need a license to drive.
I have paperwork and documented, notarized and thumbprinted that I am no longer a person or a human. I am operating under land soil jurisdiction as a living man.
Yeah, kind of an odd conversation there. Police gave him a ticket and told him to get someone else to pick him up. And then Shablekin appeared to threaten officers.
Do you know how much I'm worth?
I don't care how much you're worth.
Because it's going to come out of your paycheck.
No.
For all these crimes. Yes, it will. Because I have documents.
No.
Yes. You want to find that?
Yes.
So fast forward now till just last week, deputies shot and killed Shablekin at the scene there in the Gig Harbor area. And his family says he was homeless, living in tents in the backyards of family members and friends, and that he was mentally ill and delusional. Well, now there's a GoFundMe site for the granddaughter of one of the victims, Zoya Shiblakina. The granddaughter's name is Anna. She is 11 years old. The money is for special counseling for Anna. A family spokesperson, Robert Knowles, tells me Anna was actually really close with her uncle.
Kind of traumatizing for her and her uncle had a really tight relationship. Alex just never judged her, and she always felt very safe and comfortable with him and talked to him a lot.
Knowles also tells me he wants people to know how loving and caring Zoya, Anna's grandmother, was.
And she also would get stuff and pack it up and send it to Russia and also Ukraine with, the postage being her own money. She was very, very generous and very thrifty and very crafty. And
Charlie and Manda, there was also a vigil held last night for all 4 victims of that crime. They were all well loved in their community.
Okay, thank you for that update, Luke. It's 7:33. Federal tsunami warning programs are a step closer to being funded through 2030.
A Senate committee has passed a bipartisan bill backed by Washington Democrat Maria Cantwell and Alaska Republican Lisa Murkowski. It would provide $30 million for those programs and protect NOAA's access to seismic data from the Alaska Earthquake Center. Last year, grant funding for that data was canceled. Alaska State seismologist Michael West.
Statistically, one of the next major tsunamis is likely to come out of Alaska. It is a prodigious source of tsunamis,
some of which could reach the Washington coast. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
It's time for a check on traffic. Now, we do that every 10 minutes for you. And here's Chris Sullivan.
We're stuck with a stubborn 20-minute delay on northbound I-5. There, right as you get into the heart of downtown, the bumper-to-bumper starts right at the beginning of Boeing Field, goes all the way up into downtown. HOV lane blocked right there as you get to about Seneca, right before the express lanes peel off. And so 50 minutes now from South Center, hour and 15 all the way from Federal Way. Looks like it did before we had the Revive I-5. Northbound 509 seeing a typical day, about a 2-mile backup for you guys trying to get to the First Avenue South Bridge. Out of the north end, we keep adding volume and travel times are going up. Linwood to Seattle now an hour. That is a 20-minute delay, hour and 20 all the way from Everett. About 10 minutes faster coming down 405, though it's no picnic out of Linwood either. The Renton to Bellevue drive is about 35 minutes. The Lake Bridges are still good. Valley Freeway running about 50 from end to end. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, just mostly cloudy for today. There's a possibility of spotty showers in the afternoon, but some sun breaks too. 51 our high. For tomorrow, Friday, light rain at times, 52. A few showers Saturday morning. Should dry out for the rest of the day. And then Sunday, that looks like we'll see more in the way of steady rain, 52. Right now in Seattle, it's mostly cloudy and 44.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
And it's time for the 7:35 commentary. About 3 months ago, I stood outside a tent a few blocks off Aurora Avenue in North Seattle. Inside that tent was a 9-year-old boy. His mother was a fentanyl addict working as a prostitute on Aurora. She made him wait in the bushes while men came to that tent. The neighbors had been calling CPS and SPD for months. The caseworkers and the cops told me the same thing. Their hands were tied. The law required imminent physical harm before anyone could remove him. They couldn't have missed all the fentanyl foil squares next to the rat feces and bottles of urine in that tent. Still not enough. He stayed in the tent. We later found out the mother was smoking fentanyl inside the tent while her son was in there with her. Think about that boy a lot. Think about him when I read through the first 9 months of 2025. There were 57 critical incidents, deaths and near deaths, inside Washington's child welfare system. More than half involved opioids. The year before, it was 49. The year before that, lower still. The number goes up every year, every single year. On Saturday night, Republican Representatives Travis Couture and Josh Penner stood on the floor of the Washington State House and tried one more time to fix it. Couture has been fighting this fight for years. This session, his standalone bills never got a committee hearing. He tried to force floor votes on 3 separate bills, including one written by a Democrat, all blocked on procedural grounds. Saturday's budget amendment was the last card he had. Representative Penner read aloud from state investigative reports, case after case, babies, toddlers, fentanyl residue on the floor, parents face down on the couch. Some of those children did not make it. He was asking for one change, one update to the legal standard that determines when a child can be removed from a home where hard drugs are present. The ask was simple. Smoking fentanyl next to your kid should qualify as a reason for the state to step in. While Representative Penner was reading those reports on the House floor, Seattle Democratic Representative Julia Reed was live posting on Blue Sky. She wrote that the Republican amendments were a chance, in her words here, to air grievances, conspiracy theories, and to try to force us into disingenuous roll call votes they can clip to make us look bad. She complained about having to listen to what she called the most lurid Republican talking points you can imagine. Lurid Republican talking points. That's what she called reports about dead children. Then the vote came. Every Republican voted yes. The Democratic majority said no. Speaker Lori Jenkins said this week that Democrats and Republicans share a very strong interest in child welfare and child safety. She also said that critical incidents have shrunk dramatically since their last fix. There were 49 critical incidents in all of 2024. In just the first 9 months of last year, the most recent numbers we have, there were 57. The trend is not shrinking. It's accelerating. I want to highlight the 7 Democrats who crossed the aisle. Representatives Mari Levitt, Dave Paul, Christine Reeves, Addison Richards, Clive Shavers, Joe Timmons, and Amy Whalen. Good for all of them. The amendment failed anyway, 49-44. The majority party has watched the number of children dying in the system go up 3 years in a row. They've had chances to fix it. The bills didn't get hearings. The floor votes got blocked. They couldn't even agree that a mother hotboxing fentanyl in a tent with her child is worth a timeout. Session ends March 12th, a week from today. Nothing's going to change. Representative Reed was worried about roll call votes that could be clipped to make Democrats look bad. And here's the thing. You don't look bad because of the clip. You look bad because of the vote. And that's a commentary for Thursday, March 5th, 2026. Text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476, or leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:40. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
We'll look at the 20-minute delay coming up I-5 getting into downtown. We'll break it down next.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
This is the story of the one.
As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Discover a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026.
Need some TLC for your hybrid or EV? A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue gives you fast, cost-effective, guaranteed service. Go to myevpros.com or call 425-96-EV-FIX. A&M Auto Repair treats you fair and square.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. It's 7:43, and we check traffic on the 3s with Chris Sullivan.
We just can't get rid of all the cars in this crash on northbound I-5 as you approach the Seneca exit. The HOV lane is blocked, and normally this wouldn't be an issue because the HOV lane would be closed. But Revive I-5 has got the northbound express lanes open, and so that HOV lane is blocked, and that's created a backup that goes all the way to the beginnings of Boeing Field. 50 minutes now from South Center into downtown, and an hour and 15 all the way from Federal Way. That is a 20 to 25 minute delay over what you might expect. The eastbound direction of the Voice Seattle Bridge also backed up all the way to the golf course now. Northbound 509 still struggling up to the First Avenue South Bridge. Northbound 405, 40 to 45 minutes now. Those S-curves are very slow. Plus, we're seeing brake lights all the way up to 44th now. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, still about a 50-minute trip, but we're easing a little bit at the north end. Want to thank my drivers. Let me know. It looks like we might have a conked out semi partially blocking the the right shoulder as we head up to the top of Tiger Mountain. Westbound I-90 still slow there through Front Street in Issaquah, and coming down from the north end, a really good drive out of Arlington or Marysville. But boy, when you go away from Linwood on 405, you're going to struggle. It's 52 minutes from Linwood to Bellevue. It's an hour from Linwood to Seattle. So really slow today. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Mostly cloudy for today. You might see a few showers in the afternoon, just light stuff, but also some sun breaks. 51 the high. Tomorrow, cloudy, occasional showers, and 52. It'll be Friday. Saturday, few showers, and then Sunday, it looks like we'll be overcast with some more steady rain. 52 on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, we have cloudy skies. It's 44.
And coming up, Seattle Times political reporter Shauna Sowersby with a legislative update. Will the state income tax proposal make it past the finish line? We'll ask Shauna coming up on Seattle's Morning News.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day?
Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO Newsradio.
Thanks for joining us on this Thursday morning. Charlie Harger and Manda Factor here with you. We have just a week left in the 2026 legislative session, and the big concern among Democratic lawmakers seems to be getting the income tax on millionaires passed before next Thursday.
Will that actually happen? Well, Governor Bob Ferguson doesn't seem to think so now.
We are going to call up Seattle Times political reporter Shauna Sowersby for the latest from Olympia. Shauna, we're reading some conflicting information this morning about whether there are even enough votes for this to pass.
Yeah, so earlier this week, Governor Bob Ferguson came out with a statement in one of his campaign mailers that said he didn't like the current version of the bill. He doesn't think it goes far enough. Kind of the same theme we've been seeing throughout the session, that, this is the third time he's come back and said he doesn't like what's in there. There needs to be more done. So he kind of said this again, kind of alluded to, maybe it won't get done this year. Maybe this is something that gets passed off to 2027 because he wants to make sure that, this bill is absolutely right and gives back a certain amount of relief for taxpayers and other folks. And so, while he kind of made that statement, it looks like some of that, House leadership, especially, Jenkins, Speaker of the House, Lori Jenkins, and House Majority Leader Fitzgibbon, they seem to think that, this is going to happen. They think that they have the votes to clear this. But there are definitely some House Democrats that have other ideas, and it seems like their minds won't be changed by what's currently in here. It doesn't matter what kind of relief is going to be in there. They just don't want this at all. Amy Wallen has been very outspoken about this in the House. Rep. Addison Richards out in Gig Harbor has also been really outspoken about this. But regardless of that, House leadership and Senate leadership still think that it's going to make it this year.
They're still working on changes on it. What's the actual status? When does it come up for a vote? Do we know yet?
That's a good question. I did ask the spokespeople earlier this week, and it sounds like it won't come to a House floor vote until sometime after Friday. But we have no other indication at this point in time what day that might be, whether that's over the weekend or whether that starts next week.
A lot of future budgets are reliant on this income tax on millionaires. What happens if it doesn't go through this year? Have they spoken about that?
That's a good question. I think that really hasn't been maybe talked about as much. I feel like there's been, a lot more assuming that this is going to pass this year. So I think, I know that money can't be used until future years anyway. So I think that all that means is that just gets looked at in a couple of years, or 2028 potentially. But it seems like, the Democrats think that they have this really locked down and assume that this is just going to pass this year.
This is obviously the big one that gets all the attention, but what else are you watching for as the session wraps up?
I'm watching I'm still waiting for the Senate vote on the Left One pension plan for firefighters and police officers. And that is the bill that would remove about $3 billion from that overfunded pension and put it into various programs. The CCA is one of the big ones where some of that money would go to, and then it kind of goes into a smattering of other buckets. So still waiting on a vote on that. Still waiting on a vote on the estate tax changes to lower the estate tax. That's still waiting for a vote in the House. And those are the two main ones that I've kind of got my eye on as of right now.
Are there any last-minute surprises that tend to happen during these legislative sessions, any that you can remember?
Oh, gosh. I think the biggest one I remember was from a few years ago when the Blake decision failed on the very last night of the legislative session. So there's always something that kind of comes up in the last couple of days that will be very surprising. We still have a week to go, so we don't know what those will be yet, but I'm sure we'll see a couple surprises come through.
How would you describe or characterize this session so far? Are people getting along?
Compared to last year, this has been the big joke with kind of the press corps folks. Last year was very stressful. I think it was stressful on all of us and all of the lawmakers too. It was just a lot of stress going around the legislature, and this year feels a lot calmer compared to that. So we're kind of using last year as like our, as an example of like what the worst possible situation could be. And it's definitely nowhere near that.
Okay, Shauna, so Jake Goldstein-Street told us yesterday he's headed to spring training once the session wraps up. What are your plans?
I am going home to Missouri to visit my family and to sleep for a week straight.
Well, we sure have appreciated you joining us all session long, Shauna, and hope we can keep talking to you as politics are always interesting here in Washington State. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks so much.
You bet. Take care. It's 7:53. We need to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes, and Chris Sullivan's watching things.
And it's not a good day out there. We're just struggling. We're running 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes behind schedule on some routes. I'm going to start with the biggie first, which is northbound I-5. We're running an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour and 20 from Federal Way to Seattle, with more than 50 of those minutes from South Center because of this long-term crash we've been dealing with as you approach the express lanes on northbound 5 there, right before Seneca in the heart of downtown. That HOV lane remains blocked, and we're running 25 minutes behind schedule there. Northbound 167, I'm trying to find what might be a crash approaching 405. We're really heavy from before 180th, but the travel times actually come down, so whatever this is appears to be off to the shoulder. 25 minutes out of Auburn, and under 50 now all the way from Puyallup, which is pretty decent. Northbound 405, though, 45 minutes. I'm hunting for a crash up near 44th. Either way, we're running a behind schedule there, also heavy into South Bellevue. Coming down from the north end, we're looking at about an hour and 10-minute trip now from Linwood to Seattle. That's a 20-minute delay over what you might expect, and an hour and a half from Everett. There's also some heavy braking on 529 right now across the Snohomish River. We've got a bridge lift going on there, so keep that in mind. A lot of traffic in and around Tacoma now. People trying to get to the Dome for the basketball tournament. State tournament underway, started yesterday, and so we're seeing a lot of action there as well. The lake bridges, they're manageable. This report brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476. Download the app and listen to your favorite shows. Get the latest news and updates right to your phone.
Mostly cloudy for today. Might see some spotty showers in the afternoon, but sun breaks 2 and a high of 51. It's 44 right now in Seattle.
Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, more of the day's top stories on Seattle's morning news, including KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on Mayor Katie Wilson's plan for combating homelessness in the city.
Great decisions start with knowing your options. Lake Washington windows and doors are built to perform. Their windows are 25% more efficient than Energy Star standards, cut noise up to 50%, and are designed with low-maintenance clean glass technology. While most window frames are hollow, theirs feature Comfort Core insulation for superior energy efficiency. Find your pot of gold with up to 20% in savings and 12-month financing with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com. A name you can trust.
With daylight savings time approaching, a warning for drivers. A 20-year study published in Current Biology examined over 732,000 fatal crashes showed a 6% increase in fatal accident risk in the United States following spring daylight savings time switch. And a large number of accidents were non-fatal but very serious. Pay attention and slow down. Now, if you happen to be involved in a car accident, get in touch right away with Herald Car Law Offices. Why? It will save you time and money when dealing with insurance. This is a local law firm that takes on auto and truck accidents, wrongful death, and bad faith insurers. Carlaw.com. 2 R's in car when it comes to medical bills, repair costs, missing wages, or non-economic damages. You don't have to take on an insurance company alone. Carr and his dedicated team are there to fight for you and deal with the insurance company so you don't have to. Herald Car Law Offices can help. Carlaw.com. C-A-R-R. Carlaw.com. Car accident? Call Carr.
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all 3 like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
G and Ursula on KIRO News Radio.
You're not going to be able to stop what's going to happen.
I hope he's successful.
9 to noon, streaming live on your smart speaker.
Madeline Peru brings her intimate We Are America trio tour to Dimitro's Jazz Alley, Thursday through Sunday, March 12th through 15th. 4 nights, pure jazz magic. Tickets at jazzalley.com. Next up, the Ruthie Foster Quartet.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. The U.S. and Israel hit targets deep inside Iran. Tehran has launched more missiles aimed at Israel and U.S. bases. CBS's Matt Gutman is in Tel Aviv.
Race against the clock. The U.S. and Israel are trying to wipe out Iran's missile capacity before they run out of missile interceptors, without which the city behind me would likely be smoldering. And while Iran is trying to conserve its stockpile in anticipation of a longer war, the pressure point, I'm being told, is the Gulf states, where economic losses are significant. The flow of oil has slowed to a trickle, and I'm told behind closed doors, they are already putting pressure on the administration to wrap this up.
Arab states allied with the U.S. are running low on interceptor missiles and are asking Washington to replenish supplies. The BBC's Jonathan Beale.
The U.S. produces very sophisticated, expensive weapons, but it doesn't produce them in large quantities. It's a peacetime economy. It's not like Russia. And we believe that President Trump will meet some defense companies and urge them to ramp up production, particularly things like interceptors for Patriot missiles.
Senate Republicans blocked an effort by Democrats to pass a War Powers Act to limit the president's ability to wage war in Iran. CBS's Hunter Woodall.
Lawmakers are trying to push forward as trying to reclaim some of their power, some of their influence in Washington. During this Trump administration 2.0, the president has largely leaned in on executive authority, leaned in on that power. Congress, given that Republicans hold both House and Senate, have seemed fairly fine ceding a lot of that power to the president. We're starting to see Congress try and reclaim some of that.
CBS's Michael Wallace tells us a Marine vet and U.S. Senate candidate suffered a broken arm as he was removed from a Capitol Hill hearing.
Brian McGinnis is running for Senate in North Carolina on the Green Party line. He interrupted a Senate subcommittee hearing on military readiness to protest the war in Iran.
No one wants to fight for Israel!
As Montana Senator Tim Sheehy helped police push McGinnis out of the hearing, McGinnis's hand got caught in the door jamb and his arm was broken.
A U.S. Senator just broke the hand of a Marine!
McGinnis was charged with assaulting a police officer and resisting arrest.
There's word Britney Spears was arrested on a DUI charge last night in Ventura County, California, and booked early this morning. A court appearance is set for May. There's new evidence GLP-1 drugs used to treat diabetes and obesity might also help fight addiction. CBS's Michael George.
A study published in the British Medical Journal found the medications help lower the risk of addiction to alcohol, cannabis, nicotine, and opioids. Studies suggest the reason is because GLP-1 drugs act on the brain's reward pathways. But the study's authors say more research is needed.
Wall Street, the Dow is down 640. This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world.
I'm Tony.
There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers.
How are you?
I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening
News. 8:03, time to check in with Chris Sullivan for traffic.
We start this hour with some really positive news. The crash that has been dogging us all morning. Northbound I-5 in the HOV lane, right getting into the heart of downtown Seattle, right there before Seneca, has finally cleared. Problem, we've got a solid lineup all the way back to the beginning of Boeing Field and a 55-minute trip from South Center into downtown. That's double the normal travel time, and an hour and 20 all the way from Federal Way. So this is about kind of as crunchy as it gets there in terms of that drive. Good news is from Federal Way up to where you hit the brakes, it's not bad at all. Now, northbound 509 backed up bumper to bumper for about 2 miles coming up towards the First Avenue South Bridge, and the West Seattle Bridge is also backed up now before the golf course trying to head over to I-5. Valley Freeway, getting better, actually. We're under 50 minutes, which is great. And then Renton to Bellevue, though, about 45. Still struggling up past the Kent Des Moines, up past 44th. Lake Bridges, manageable. Coming down from the north end, not so much. Hour and 10-minute trips from Linwood to Seattle or Bellevue. Brake lights there. Normal places, those are 20-minute delays. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
8:04 on the Thursday, March 5th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is unveiling her first step to help end the city's homeless crisis.
However, critics already weighing in after the mayor refused to answer questions about her plan.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is here to break it down.
Yeah, for the first time since being elected, Mayor Wilson delivered an 8.5-minute speech on one of the most important issues of her campaign, and she didn't answer one question.
The single most important thing we can do to address our city's homelessness crisis is to rapidly expand emergency housing and shelter with supportive services.
Wilson says she has sent 3 pieces of legislation to City Council to kickstart her vision to help solve the homeless crisis in the city of Seattle, to quickly open 1,000 new shelter units and emergency housing with wraparound services, but also to expedite lease agreements for shelters and tiny home communities, and to expand shelter capacity from 100 people up to 250 people.
We are moving faster than ever before, but I want to see the ground start breaking, the hammers start swinging, and fewer people left to sleep in doorways and tents.
Critics, though, have a lot of questions, as we mentioned, including Andrea Suarez. She is with We Heart Seattle, a nonprofit group that has worked with the homeless here in Seattle and other places for years now. This is what she told me actually just moments ago.
The population that she described as nobody should be in our parks and in our doorways and outside cold. I mean, we offered shelter to 100 people the other day, and 100 people declined. See, they don't want rules.
She said there at the end, if you couldn't hear, they don't want rules. She hears from people on the street, she says all the time, who are shelter resistant, people doing drugs, living in camps, parks, and RVs, who don't want to live in shelters or tiny homes.
It sounds good, but in reality on the streets, it's not going to change what we're seeing here on the street.
So, Charlie and Manda, there are a lot of questions for people who also live in shelters but spend their days out on the streets. A lot of them looking for drugs and doing drugs in parks and on the sidewalks. It doesn't seem to be a plan for them either. And also, another big question that we wanted to ask the mayor, will any of these shelters that she's talking about be clean and sober shelters? What are the rules that are involved? How does it work? But again, 8.5 minutes of a speech and no Q&A at the end.
We will continue to follow this, Luke. It's 8:07. Democrats don't have the votes, at least not yet, to pass their income tax bill in the state house. Washington State Standard reports about a dozen Democrats are holding out, and the party can only afford to lose 9. Republicans unanimously opposed. The holdouts have different concerns. Some want more money for child care. Others want bigger tax breaks for working families or small businesses.
Well, Governor Bob Ferguson has been meeting privately with wavering lawmakers, and new amendments could come as soon as today. But Ferguson has made clear he's willing to wait until next year if the bill doesn't go far enough. Democratic leaders still say they're confident the bill will pass before the session ends March 12th. The measure would impose a 9.9% tax on household income above $1 million starting in 2028.
Seattle City Light has agreed to spend nearly $1 billion on fish passages at its 3 Skagit River dams. For years, King 5 reports, the city claims salmon never historically reached that part of the river, so fish passage wasn't needed. Tribal biologists and federal scientists disagreed. The turning point came in 2019 when researchers captured video of Chinook spawning in a stretch the city said was inaccessible to fish. The formal announcement is expected Sunday.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Someone has a dance from pretty much every genre, doesn't he?
I think he does.
That is some serious disco going on.
That's good. I like it.
Nice music choice, Nick.
Looks like he's on the roller skating rink right now.
Yeah. We need to go clubbing with Sully. What do you think?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
This is actually on my running playlist.
Is it really?
It's just a little faster beat, and I can smile and.
He is loving it right now.
This is why you must watch on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. I it's not often that I'm speechless, yet here we are.
Okay, I'll do the talking for a second. It's March 5th, Friday Eve. He's Charlie Harger. I'm Manda Factor. That is disco stud Chris Sullivan watching
Manda,
traffic.
your sweater / jacket does look like you should be in a disco.
It's a little disco, isn't it?
Got a little Saturday Night Fever with that sweater.
Very fuzzy. Okay, well, Nick Krasia is over there running the board and picking the tunes, and of course, producer David Burbank is here. Jonah Oakleaf out in the office, and he's watching the news headlines come through the desk. Well, just 1 week into the state legislature, not much time for lawmakers to get more bills passed. They're going to check in with Paul Query, the editor of the Washington Observer on Substack. He's been covering the legislature throughout the session. Get some analysis on this next week of marathon meetings.
Scott will also stop by. Seattle's been ranked by one study as the most livable city in the nation. G has thoughts.
Okay. It's 8:09 here on Seattle's Morning News. An effort to stop the war against Iran failed yesterday in the U.S. Senate on a 47-53 party line vote.
Mississippi Republican Roger Wicker says President Trump's decision to attack Iran was correct.
The president understands the weight of war. He was clear-eyed about the risk, and he was honest with the American people.
Washington Democrat Patty Murray says Trump broke his promise of no new wars.
This president is ordering our kids to be shipped off into war from his beach club in Florida. That is obscene.
Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
A former educator from Washington is now sheltering in Kuwait. Lisa Dallas is principal of a global bilingual academy, a K-12 school.
I can't leave because the airport is closed. If you call the number to the embassy, you get a recording that tells you, do not rely on U.S. To help you get out of the country. You have to find your own way out, basically.
She tells the G and Ursula show she can hear sirens and explosions from where she is. Lisa is the mother of MyNorthwest.com content editor Julia Dallas.
The commute through Seattle is about to get tough. Crucial repairs are needed at the First Avenue South Bridge, where a recent inspection identified cracks on the draw span. State Department of Transportation will begin a temporary fix Monday. That's going to shut down all northbound lanes for 3 days. But this is a 3-phase repair of the bridge. The final phase next year. 50,000 daily commuters who rely on the route will be forced onto I-5. Oh, yeah, you have Revive I-5 that's also affecting the roadway there. The closure begins 5 a.m. Monday, and it'll stay closed through 8 p.m. Wednesday.
Well, people along the Grays Harbor coast and inland heard a sonic boom Tuesday when a meteor entered the Earth's atmosphere. Here's KIRO 7 meteorologist Nick Allard.
NASA says that it estimates the object's about 166 pounds and had a diameter of 15 inches. Of course, the boom comes from the thing being hypersonic or going faster than the speed of sound, but a lot of people, that'll sure freak you out when you hear it in the middle of the night.
Officials say there were no earthquakes or explosions on the ground, but I did see some video, and it was quite a sight.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And since everybody has security cams now, you can just, at least see the bright flash. Well, let's continue with the Nick theme. He has a check on weather for us now.
Well, you can count on at least some sprinkles this morning. There isn't a lot out there, but we've had some raindrops. We've had, kind of like some mist, and most of that's going to wrap up, and I just expect to find some drier weather this afternoon. You'll see just a sprinkle or two, if anything, with mostly cloudy conditions and temperatures hanging around the low to mid-50s. Tomorrow, though, more widespread, but still very light rain, and then I think you're just going to see a few showers Saturday. Into Sunday, it's more widespread rain again, so I'm just finding some drier pockets today, some drier pockets on Saturday, but Sunday's wet. And then next week is interesting with cooler weather, with scattered showers, some rain, may see some wet snow mixed in, especially overnight. During the day, it'd be too warm for anything really to happen besides just sort of seeing it in a heavy shower, but temps will be in the mid-40s by day, low to mid-30s by night, and some wet snow possible.
Such heavy rain. Did you get any of that in Seattle? In the south end, it was just crazy to drive in yesterday afternoon. Right now in Seattle, nothing near that bad. It's 48.
And it's 8:13, time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. Chris Sullivan.
Nick likes to call that chunky rain.
Chunky rain.
Yeah, because it's got some oomph to it. On the roads now, we're still rolling way behind schedule on northbound I-5 because of this long-term crash we had right in the heart of downtown. The HOV lane had been blocked for the better part of most of the morning, and we are still bumper to bumper from before the Boeing Access Road all the way up into downtown. So it's still 50 minutes from South Center into downtown. That's about a 20-minute delay over what you might expect, and about an hour and 15 all the way from the Federal Way area. Northbound 509 still dealing with its normal self. Same with 99 northbound for all the people trying to avoid I-5. They're driving right up into the lane closures on the First Avenue South Bridge. Eastbound West Seattle Bridge also backed up well before the golf course. Now, the good news is that most of Pierce County, other than eastbound 16 past Cheney Stadium, which has some braking, is in pretty good shape. I mean, the Valley Freeway, you don't really hit the brakes really hard until you're up to 180th, and so that's a pretty good drive. 45 minutes from Puyallup to Renton or less, and then Renton to Bellevue has a matching 45. Lake bridges are still okay. Coming down from the north end, a clean drive from Arlington all the way down to Linwood, and then if you're going to 405, it's bumper to bumper down through Bothell. For I-5, it's a clean drive all the way down to about 175th. Boy, there you hit the gauntlet. It's an hour and 15-minute trip from Linwood to Seattle. hour and 5 from Linwood to Bellevue, and all of that delay is really just from 145th all the way into downtown on southbound 5. That's an ugly day. This report brought to you by Subaru Puyallup. Visit Subaru Puyallup for friendly experts, transparent pricing, genuine care, and savings during the Subaru Lot to Love event going on through March 31st. SubaruPuyallup.com.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
It is 8:15 on your Thursday morning, the 5th of March, nearing the finish line for state lawmakers in Olympia.
Just 1 week remains for bills to be passed, and the truncated legislative session is winding down. And one of those pieces of legislation getting the most attention is, of course, the income tax on millionaires, although now its future seems uncertain.
Paul Query from the Washington Observer on Substack joins Seattle's morning news. Peek into your crystal ball. What's going to happen here, Paul?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of drama, but I really expect this thing to get across the finish line. We've really entered into kind of the vote buying stage of this period. You need 50 votes in the House to pass that bill. It's got 37 co-sponsors. There are 59 Democrats. All the Republicans are going to vote no. So, if you're in that sort of, let's just say about a dozen, maybe about 10, you're going to want something for your vote, because this is one of the most consequential and potentially politically risky votes in a long, long time.
How often do we see posturing like this as we get down to the deadline?
You see something like this in most sessions. You get down to the deadline and you walk around. I was down at the Capitol yesterday. If you walk around in the rotunda there, the air's pretty thick with tension, and you just seeing a lot of people circling like vultures, trying to get stuff they need, trying to kill stuff. It's a really complex game of three-dimensional chess down there this time of year. It's interesting to watch.
Does that include the governor? Were you surprised at all when he said this might not make it this year?
I think the governor is sort of looking to me to be in a sort of similar position to where he was last year, where he kind of went out on a limb and asked, tried to force some sort of bipartisan no cuts or no taxes budget deal. And as you might remember, that turned out pretty badly for him. Thus far, he hasn't gotten the kind of tax relief that he's asked for in this income tax package. And so he's, kind of floating the idea that maybe this should wait till next year. But, I think that the legislature seems, to have a lot of momentum to get this done this year, because the politics of this is probably not going to get better after this year.
So we had Andrew Villeneuve with the Northwest Progressive Institute in the studio yesterday, and he said, okay, even if there isn't a referendum, which there won't be, he says this will wind up going to an initiative. Why do you think Democrats are so confident that voters this time around will approve an income tax?
Well, if you have it on the ballot this year, this figures to be a really good year for Democrats. This is the second Trump midterms. The president is, as controversial and as divisive as he's ever been. The last midterm in 2018 was a bloodbath for Republicans. You just figure that there'll be a lot of reasons for progressives to come to the polls. And, it's just a good year to defend the income tax.
You mentioned those 10 or so Democrats who are going to want something for their vote. Do we know what they want?
Some of them are kind of jumping on board with Governor Ferguson's tax relief in the elsewhere in the tax relief system. Elsewhere in the tax system. Others, everybody's got bills that they want to pass. They've got projects in the capital budget. There's all kinds of stuff. On the bottom line, I think what you're looking at basically is money and, changes to state law that are in play right now.
I can't help but notice that a lot of these Democrats who are, at least Jerry Cornfield is reporting, are pushing back on this, are the same Democrats who also sided with Republicans on modifying the Keeping Families Together Act. So these are the more moderate Democrats in the state legislature. I wouldn't surprise another guest with this, but let me ask you, Paul. What are the fault lines like between the more liberal Democrats and the moderates in the state legislature? Is there a growing divide between those?
That conflict can get pretty harsh behind the closed doors of the caucus. The moderates used to have kind of a lot of power and a lot of sway because they were really the margin between having the majority and not having the majority. And nowadays that's just less true. As we talked about earlier, there's 59 of them, so that's a 9-vote cushion. And so it can be kind of lonely to be, in that handful of moderates and just get dragged along by the rest of the caucus.
It's funny, about a half an hour ago, we were talking to Shauna Sowersby of The Times, and I asked her to characterize this session. She said it seems less tense than last session. Are you just saying it's tense now as we come down to the wire?
I would say that there's always more tension as it comes down to the wire. I mean, it's certainly true there are fewer big consequential things, setting aside the income tax, of course, which might be the most consequential thing, than there were in play last year, which is, that's typical of the shorter session. There's usually more stuff going on in the longer session. But yeah, it got ugly at the end of last session, too. I mean, it usually does.
Well, here we are in an election year, Paul, and last election cycle, Democrats were really hopeful they would be able to get a supermajority in the House and Senate. Are you sensing they didn't quite reach it? Are you sensing they have enthusiasm going into this election cycle?
Yeah, I think they're definitely. I mean, the Democrats have been playing in kind of hostile territory in the last 2 or 3 elections, and they've done, decently well. They picked up a seat here and there. They've definitely got some, an eye on some seats in Clark County. But the real supermajority, the one that allows you to, send constitutional amendments to the voters and override the governor's veto and things like that, that would be a big stretch to get there in this year, especially, I don't know that that approving the income tax is going to have zero political impact. I don't know that it's it would necessarily cost. I'd be surprised to see it cost the Democrats the majority, but a seat here and there. There's some folks who politically probably should vote no, who are probably going to vote yes, and we'll see what happens to those folks.
Just about out of time, but with just 1 week to go, other than the income tax, what are you watching for?
I'm watching things like this, the thing that passed yesterday to give the Attorney General's office, sort of more kind of law enforcement-y powers, more power to kind of subpoena documents. That's a pretty kind of edgy idea. And the Attorney General and his people were walking around the rotunda yesterday, trying to make sure that stays on track. There's some hot button legislation still to come, definitely.
Okay, Paul Query from the Washington Observer on Substack. Paul, always appreciate your time. We'll check in with you next week, okay?
All right.
Thanks so much. It's 8:23. We need to get to traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. And here's Chris Sullivan.
20-minute delays or more all the way around in a lot of places. That's what we have coming up the I-5 corridor from South Center into downtown. A long-term crash we had right there at right at Seneca there just before the express lanes peel off. It's out of the way, but boy, we're bumper to bumper all the way back before the Boeing Access Road. Still 50 minutes from South Center into downtown and over an hour and 10 all the way. 99 northbound is really jammed up now trying to get into South Park because people are bailing and going that way, not maybe realizing they're driving into 2 right lanes being blocked across the First Avenue South Bridge. Northbound 509 also caught up in this as well. Most of Pierce County has cleared out nicely with the exception of eastbound 16. There is a crash near Cheney Stadium that is causing some significant slowing, but you won't hit the brakes on the Valley Freeway in any significant way till you're up to about 180th. And then Renton to Bellevue's up over 50 minutes. Very slow today, up past 44th, and then really from I-90 into the heart of downtown. Out of the north end, boy, from away from Linwood, hour and 10-minute trips gives us an hour and a half from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. That's plus 20, so no bueno out of the north end. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
We're going to stay mostly cloudy, maybe a shower here and there, but nothing too major. Sun breaks a possibility for the afternoon and 51. Light rain for your Friday tomorrow. Saturday, it looks like the showers will come in the morning. Drying out for the afternoon, but more steady rain is back on Sunday. Right now it's 44 in Seattle, and Mr. Sullivan, you have a choke point on the way.
It's going to be a very busy weekend trying to get around Bothell. We'll explain what they're doing and what it's going to do to your drive coming up next.
All right, this is Seattle's Morning News.
Now, word for the team at Boss Retirement Solutions. When you picture retirement, taxes probably aren't in the frame, but they should be, because for a lot of people, they end up being the biggest expense of all. If you have saved more than $300,000, you could be looking at 30 to 40% of that going to taxes on your withdrawals alone. Good news is there are strategies to change that picture significantly, and Boss Retirement Solutions in Seattle wants to walk you through them. They're offering a free retirement tax savings analysis. No cost, no strings. Call 206-210-1350, 206-210-1350. Make sure the retirement you get looks like the one you planned. Boss Retirement Solutions, 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
KIRO Newsradio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO Newsradio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense, and that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in no time with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025. Actual speeds vary. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial cable.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Every year we see a spike in serious accidents involving motor vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians occurring in the few days after daylight saving time. If you are injured in an accident, protect your legal rights with an experienced team of lawyers who know how to get results. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 to request a free legal consultation or get my free book on car accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Olympic Hot Tub is clearing our warehouse. This is a rare chance to save thousands on in-stock hot tubs and get big savings on saunas and swim spas. Find our warehouse clearance savings in all 8 Olympic showrooms through March 8th. More at OlympicHotTub.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Your new home for Tesla, EV, and hybrid maintenance is A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue with dealer-level diagnostics, electrical, mechanical, and suspension repairs. Find A&M Auto Repair in Bellevue online at myevpros.com or 425-96 EV Fix.
There are 5 things money can do for you: growth, liquidity, cash flow, protection, and tax advantages. Don't miss an opportunity because your current retirement plan only focuses on 2 or 3 of them. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof inspected. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we'll help it last as long as possible. Our trained and licensed crew will evaluate your roof, repairing when we can and offering replacement options only when necessary. Plus, every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from Eastlake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 8:31. This morning, we are seeing chilling police body camera video showing a tense exchange with a man accused of killing 4 women in Pierce County last week.
We're also hearing from a family member who says they're now raising money to help one of the victim's granddaughters.
We get the update live from KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, let's take you back to 2022. Gig Harbor Police pulled over Alex Shablekin, who on a simple traffic stop. He is the 32-year-old man who stabbed those 4 women, including his own mother, Zoya Shablekina. It appears Shablekin was claiming to be a sovereign citizen and did not need a license to drive.
I have paperwork and documented, notarized and thumbprinted that I am no longer a person or a human. I am operating under land and soil jurisdiction as a living man.
Yeah, police gave him a ticket and then told him to get someone else to pick him up. Then Shablekin appeared to threaten police a little bit.
Do you know how much I'm worth?
I don't care how much you're worth.
Because it's going to come out of your paycheck
No.
for all these crimes. Yes, it will, because I have documents.
No.
Yes. You want to find that?
Yes.
Now fast forward to last week. Deputies shot and killed Shablekin at the scene there in the Gig Harbor neighborhood. His family says he was homeless, living in tents in the backyards of family members and friends, and that he was mentally ill and delusional. Well, now there's a GoFundMe site for the granddaughter of one of the victims, Zoya. The granddaughter's name is Anna. She's 11 years old, and the money is for special counseling for Anna. A family spokesperson, Robert Knowles, tells me Anna was actually really close with her uncle.
Kind of traumatizing for her. Her and her uncle had a really tight relationship. Alice just never judged her, and she always felt really safe and comfortable with him and talked to him a lot.
However, Anna and her mother noticed, he says, a decline in their uncle, Alex, early last year.
Anna was there with her mom last April, and they witnessed how far gone, he was at that time. I didn't.
Charlie and Amanda, there was also a vigil held last night for all 4 victims of that horrible, horrible crime. And the general message, I think, from everyone last night was they were all well-loved in the community.
Thanks for that update, Luke. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson moving forward with what she calls her top priority, homelessness.
The mayor held a news conference yesterday afternoon to announce 3 new pieces of legislation that would expedite lease agreements, expand shelter capacity limits, and allocate money from underutilized city funding sources.
We are moving faster than ever before, but I want to see the ground start breaking, the hammers start swinging, and fewer people left to sleep in doorways and tents.
The mayor spoke for about 8.5 minutes and then left the news conference without taking any questions about her plan.
8:33, traffic on the 3s with Chris Sullivan.
And the drive just keeps getting worse. For those of you coming down from the north end, we've added a couple of more minutes to the trips away from Linwood. For 405, it's bumper to bumper now from Linwood down through 522, slight gap, and then Totem Lake down is a little thick as well. Hour and 20 minutes now from Linwood to Bellevue. That is a 20 to 25 minute delay. We have a matching hour and 20 minute trip from Linwood to Seattle. The brake lights there begin right before 145th and go all the way down across the Ship Canal Bridge. It is just grinding. Coming down today, Lake City Way really backed up trying to approach I-5 there through the area. Positive news for those of you on northbound I-5. We're starting to pick up the pace after that long-term crash we had up near Seneca. We still have about a 6-mile backup from Boeing Field all the way up past the West Seattle Bridge, and it's still 50 minutes from South Center, which is a 20-minute delay, hour and 15 all the way from Federal Way. Valley Freeway, not too bad, 45 minutes from end to end. Last mile is going to be difficult. Still working with a crash on eastbound 16, right as you get around the corner past 19th at Cheney Stadium. We're backing up pretty significantly back to Pearl Street, so plan on a couple of extra minutes there. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready for a night of hard-hitting MMA excitement. WFC 190, April 25th at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
And our forecast, mostly cloudy day, 51, maybe a few showers here and there, but some sun breaks too. For tomorrow, look for light rain throughout the day, 52, and a few showers Saturday morning. Otherwise, Saturday afternoon should be dry before the rain returns on Sunday. Right now, it is mostly cloudy and 44 in Seattle.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Bothell residents could be trapped in their neighborhoods the next 2 weekends as the state closes 405 in both directions near Highway 522.
This is going to get a little messy, Sully.
Yes, it is. And here's the reason. WashDOT is taking down the old ramp from northbound 405 to westbound 522. It needs to close the freeway to do it because the ramp is over the top of both directions of the freeway, so they have to get rid of it. The plan was to close the entire freeway from Friday night to Monday morning, but WashDOT thinks it can get the work done this weekend from Saturday into Monday.
We really wanted to try to keep traffic moving as much as we can. So the full closure will start at 6 p.m. on Saturday, March 7th, and will go until 4 a.m. on Monday morning.
WashDOT's Lauren Penning says all northbound traffic will be taken off the freeway at 522, go down the hill, go through the light, right back on the freeway at the on-ramp there. Not too bad of a detour, just an on and off. But here's the tricky thing. That detour won't be ready when the closure starts at 6 p.m. on Saturday. That's because WashDOT wants to add a second lane to that northbound off-ramp so it can handle more cars during the closure.
We're going to be restriping that ramp so that we can accommodate 2 lanes of traffic through the detour, which will really help keep that flowing a little bit better and help that detour route perform better.
Until that striping is finished, northbound drivers will be diverted to eastbound 522 to Woodinville and then back to 405 via neighborhood streets to 195th. If you don't know what that is, you're trying to figure that out, you're stuck in traffic, get to your office. Detour maps all available at mynorthwest.com. Now, the southbound detour is the one that has the potential to trap people in the Bothell neighborhoods because all southbound 405 traffic is going to be diverted off the freeway at 527 in Canyon Park. That means drivers will have to go through downtown Bothell and back to 405 via eastbound 522. A lot of cars on a road that is only 1 lane in sections.
And we want to remind people if they are taking that detour route to be mindful that there are people living there. Try not to block driveways. Pay attention to the uniformed police officers as they're directing traffic through that area. We're all trying to keep everybody moving as much as we can.
The uniformed officers will be directing traffic for most of the daylight hours, but either way, you want to avoid this spot.
We are anticipating there to be about an hour delay at the peak times. That's really the best case scenario, and that's if people make other plans, kind of stay away, try to do what they can to minimize the amount of traffic going through there, just because it is a really challenging, high impactful closure.
Think about that. An hour delay is the best case scenario if people do other things. Talked to a flagger on the text line earlier this morning who was on this detour route last year when they did this once before, and he tells me by about noon that southbound I-5 or southbound drive through 527, he said was like trying to load a Rhino in the back of a Tesla.
Oh, that would not be easy.
He goes, no, not they could barely move traffic southbound, which meant all the people from the side streets and couldn't get across because they had to try to move people through. It is going to have a regional impact. And we're doing this all again next weekend as well, with a closure that starts Friday night and goes through Sunday morning. They might be able to get a little work done over the southbound lanes early next weekend, so they might be able to open up a little early southbound. But no, this is a big deal. So what are they doing here? They're building a brand new 405 bridge between the current freeway, so those ramps need to go away. First 10 girders of the new bridge have already been placed. This will allow WashDOT to add a lane in each direction between 522 and 527. That lane will be added to the express toll lane system. I know the people are really happy about that. Project also direct access ramps to the toll lanes from 522. Construction full go until 2028.
Now, I know they're doing this very surgically, almost taking this down, but has there been any thought about contacting the Acme company and just dynamiting this thing?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when I went out there and took a look at it, we filmed some video we've been showing on the YouTube live feed. It's a little glitchy for some reason. I'm not sure what, we may have an issue, but the problem with that is the freeway's right below it, so you can't just chomp and take it down like they did with the Bullfrog overpass. Just drop it right below and close the road. Well, you might damage the bridge deck below that. So it's not going to be a chomp and drop it below and just scoop it up, because you don't want to damage that bridge below it. So it's a little different type of demolition. While I believe in Acme and Wile E. Coyote, that might not be the best thing to do.
Is the rebar made of copper? Because I have an idea.
Oh, my goodness, Charlie.
Wow. Okay, thieves, everybody, head to northbound No, it's steel.
Okay.
Reinforced rebar.
Okay. It was
Good
just
idea.
a thought.
No, for once, one of your ideas was actually positive and not just crazy.
What's going on in traffic?
Northbound I-5. We're still talking about the 20-minute delays getting into downtown. We'll break it down next.
As a social influencer, my days can be busy. 4 a.m., I hit the gym. 4:32, protein smoothie. 5:08, save time and money bundling my home and auto insurance with Progressive. Wait, if I bundle and save time, what would I do then? Just sit here and reflect? Like, why am I qualified to influence anyone? And how those weights are hollow? And half of my followers are bots.
You could save time and money bundling your home and auto when you switch to Progressive. It's one less thing to worry about during your already busy day. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated. And with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
I remember brushing my hair and looking down and thinking, oh my gosh, do I have any hair left?
I used to look at women with thick, beautiful hair and think, why doesn't my hair look like that?
My thinning hair is making me feel so old.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. With clinically proven ingredients like apple extract, biotin, and millet, Hair Volume nourishes your hair follicles to promote thicker, healthier-looking hair. Say goodbye to shedding, thin, and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with Hair Volume.
Since taking Hair Volume, the shedding has all but stopped.
Now, instead of being jealous of other women's hair, I have friends who are jealous of mine.
My hairdresser couldn't believe the difference in my hair. Now she's using Hair Volume too.
Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com, or find Hair Volume in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
All right, it's 8:43, and we check traffic on the 3s with Chris Sullivan.
And we've just popped up a brand new crash on the board. This one on northbound 167, just out of Kent, right after they're past James there as you work your way just around the corner before you get to 212. I'm not sure which lane it's in, but we went to a quick all-stop out of Willis going up there. So I'll have more for you on that in 10 minutes once I get a better handle on it. You add that to what was a pretty decent drive from Puyallup to Renton. We're now back up over 50 minutes to make that trip. Down in the Tacoma area, we're continuing to struggle on eastbound 16 past Cheney Stadium. Still working with a crash there as you work your way past 19th, so just a little extra braking there. Federal Way to Seattle still rolling at about an hour and 15 minutes with over 50 of those minutes from South Center. About a 20-minute delay there. That's because of an earlier crash that was with us all morning long approaching downtown Seattle. Renton to Bellevue, 50 minutes, not only bumper to bumper up past the VMAC, but we also have braking right there at I-90 going up into the south end of Bellevue. Looking at the lake bridges, they're manageable, 25 to 30 minutes to get across. We also have a crash now on eastbound 520 trying to get down into Renton. Wow. Come on, guys. Redmond, what are we doing out there? It's some late crashes this morning, just when I thought we'd be turning it around. Still have hour and 10-minute trips from Linwood to Seattle or Bellevue, so we're behind schedule there by 20 minutes. So big-time problems for you guys there. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
A mostly cloudy day, spotty showers and sun breaks for the afternoon, 51 today. Tomorrow, light rain throughout the day and 52, and then Saturday looks like we'll see a few showers, mainly in the morning hours, headed for a high of 54. And then on Sunday, looks like we'll see more in the way of steady rain. Right now in Seattle, we have mostly cloudy skies. It's 44.
Coming up, is Seattle the most livable city in America? That's a claim according to a new survey, and G. Scott will stop by to weigh in here on Seattle's Morning News.
With Aetna, I always get a quick answer, and I don't have to search on the internet. They go above and beyond to help me with whatever I need.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a Best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctor's offices when requested. We show up with access to convenient care options. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
A lot of businesses are looking ahead for guidance and the right partners in the new year, and the right bank can make a difference, right, Brad?
That's right, Dave. And WaFd Bank can help with business checking, express loans, lines of credit, business credit cards, and so much more. WaFd Bank is also an SBA preferred lender, so you can grow with confidence.
What about when you need help with something? In this digital age, does WaFd have an actual person available?
Absolutely. Our friendly and knowledgeable local business bankers are ready and waiting to help you with whatever your business might need. From day one, our bankers get to know you and your business to build a strong foundation for future success. This especially helps when it's time to apply for loans and to spot gaps in your business operations, so we can recommend the service that would be most helpful.
And to learn more, visit wafedbank.com or visit your local branch. Discover why they were awarded Best Bank multiple years in a row by numerous financial publications. WaFd Bank, built for business. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Loan subject to credit approval. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply.
With daylight savings time approaching, a warning for drivers. A 20-year study published in Current Biology examined over 732,000 fatal crashes, showed a 6% increase in fatal accident risk in the United States following spring daylight savings time switch. And a large number of accidents were non-fatal but very serious. Pay attention and slow down. Now, if you happen to be involved in a car accident, get in touch right away with Herald Car Law Offices. Why? It will save you time and money when dealing with insurance. This is a local law firm that takes on auto and truck accidents, wrongful death, and bad faith insurers. Carlaw.com. 2 R's in car when it comes to medical bills, repair costs, missing wages, or non-economic damages. You don't have to take on an insurance company alone. Carr and his dedicated team are there to fight for you and deal with the insurance company so you don't have to. Herald Car Law Offices can help. Carlaw.com. C-A-R-R. Carlaw.com. Car accident? Call CAR.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, there he is from the G and Ursula Show and the Reset Podcast, our 9 to noon host, G. Scott. Good morning, G.
Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Can you guys hear me? There we go.
Yeah,
Good
I
morning.
can.
What's happening?
It's that little on button right there.
Yes, on. Yeah.
We want to talk to you because there's a new study out that says Seattle is the most livable city in the entire United States, a top 10 city in the world. What do you think?
Yeah, Travel Leisure. They did a global study, named Seattle the best place to live in the United States, like you said, in 8th place in all of the world. The company analyzed 45 cities worldwide. They evaluated each of them with 6 core features: overall quality of life, safety, healthcare access, air pollution levels, unemployment rates, and monthly disposable income. So, yes, Seattle ranked as the most livable option in the United States. As a matter of fact, Seattle's high ranking reflects a combination of excellent healthcare, a high quality of life, and the second highest disposable income makes them in the top 10. Crazy, right?
What could go wrong? It sounds great.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. Because on paper, and probably DB know where I'm going with this, on paper it sounds good. And yes, we do have the world-class health care. We got beautiful mountains, water everywhere. We got jobs in tech. Well, some of those jobs kind of going away. We got sports. That's been going good. But let's keep it all the way a buck. Seattle is a great place for those doing really well financially.
It's expensive.
It's very expensive. Because when you talk about the quality of life, that yes, the people that are well-to-do, they're doing very well. Life is good. But in the same breath, how often do you guys talk about the homelessness crisis? How often does the mayor stand out there and do an 8-minute deal talking about 1,000 shelter units going to happen, but don't take questions after? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we are seriously in a time where, yes, Seattle, great. Air pollution, health care, financial, disposable income, beautiful homes, all that. So there's always a tale of two. So I had to make sure I brought up that one part. But yes, Seattle is beautiful.
Yeah.
It is one of the number one places in the world as a destination.
I think the disposable income is probably skewed a little bit by the high-paid tech workers.
Yeah, just a
who
little
still
bit?
have jobs.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping it a buck with us on that.
I had to.
Now, let me ask you this, because
What do you got?
I wrote this story for My Northwest, and you were the person I was thinking about while writing it. Headline is, G, if you own Meta Ray-Ban glasses, a stranger in Kenya may have watched you undress. And
creepy.
What they found was a lot of people think when they say, hey, Meta, I don't have these glasses, you do. They think that when you say, hey, Meta, and it starts identifying things on your glasses, that it's some sort of strange AI computer. Instead, there is a person being paid $2 in Africa staring through your glasses and identifying things. And they, in this story, the researchers found they saw all sorts of naked people. They saw all sorts of acts, things that could get people fired. So I'm just curious. What did you think when you heard that story?
I thought it was hilarious. And I thought, duh, it makes sense. I mean, did anybody? I have the glasses, so
Yeah.
I mean, of course that's happening. I mean, when you say Alexa, oops, somebody just did it. So it just sounded off in someone's home just now. I apologize.
Alexa, subscribe to Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Very good, John.
Very good. And that actually works, though, too, by the way. We should be careful.
I am.
Yeah. But no. Do you guys think your Alexa hears things in your home?
I assume that I am always being watched and listened to, which is kind of creepy, but that's where we are. If you carry a phone around, it's...
Exactly.
Are you with me?
Yes.
It's like the Rockwell song.
I always feel like someone's watching me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just there was some interesting reaction online when people
Who sang
realized
that song again?
Rockwell. Well, Michael Jackson, but it's a Rockwell song.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. All right, G, you have the show coming up. We're looking forward to it.
I can't wait.
Angela Poe Russell is here.
Yes, we're going to have a good show, and we'll be talking about how do they get 1,000 units, right? They're talking about that. So we'll be breaking that down, and we got a lot of questions. Well, they had a lot of questions yesterday.
Unfortunately, you couldn't get them answered.
You couldn't get them answered.
Darn it.
Like how much?
It'll be Friday when we meet again, G.
What's the wraparound services?
For now, you may be excused.
Ah, damn.
Have a great show.
It's time to check traffic. Here's Chris Sullivan.
All stop on northbound 167 as you get out of Kent near James. We have the express toll lane and the left general purpose lane blocked for the issue at this point. So we're seeing really heavy brake lights through the area, and we've jumped up to 40 minutes from Auburn to Renton and an hour all the way from Puyallup. So we've added a 20-minute delay now to that corridor, so that's not great. Then Renton to Bellevue's at 50. That's about 15 behind. And then we're still struggling from South Center into downtown, bumper to bumper from Boeing Field all the way up into downtown. It's an hour drive from Federal Way to Seattle. 40 of those minutes are from South Center. We're getting better, but it's just going to take some time. 509 northbound jammed up all the way out of the Burien area, working to the First Avenue South Bridge. Lake Bridges a little bit behind schedule. Hour and 10-minute trip still from Linwood to Seattle or Bellevue. And we're working a crash on the left-hand side on eastbound 520, trying to get past the Microsoft campus and working your way down into Renton. Redmond. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Mostly cloudy for today. You might see a few light showers in the afternoon, but some sun breaks too. 51 today. Light rain for tomorrow, and then Saturday. A few showers early on, but then we should dry out. More steady rain arrives again on Sunday. It's 44 in Seattle right now.
Coming up at the top of the hour, CBS News with the latest developments with the war in Iran. That's on the way. You've been listening to Seattle's Morning News right here on KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals.
Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. Whoa!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Discover a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026.
Whether you've done some preparation already or you're just beginning to plan for your retirement, it's never too late to make sure you have everything covered. Elder law attorney Rajiv Nagayach joins me. You have an opportunity coming soon that will help answer some important questions, don't you?
We do. And every month we take 3 or 4 opportunities to go to the communities and educate people about what proper retirement planning is. The notion of retirement planning around having a hodgepodge plan, working with a financial planner, a lawyer, a CPA, a doctor, those pieces by themselves are not going to give you the results you want in retirement.
And you and the LifePoint Law team want to teach us about the Safe Harbor Trust?
They do. The single biggest financial threat in retirement is an uncovered medical illness. A Safe Harbor Trust, it should be a must in most of these estates, but it's not.
Be part of the next seminar in Tacoma on March 10th, Bellevue on the 12th, Federal Way on the 14th, and Everett March 17th. Learn more and secure your space at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Are you in pain? Have you considered surgery or even joint replacement? Hi, everybody. It's John Curley. Before you make that decision, I recommend you see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did, and it's been a game changer. My doctor took a look at my x-rays and said, well, looks like you need a whole new hip. And then he said, wait, how old are you? And I told him, and then he said, well, wait, you're too young for a hip. You're just going to have to, live with the pain. We'll see you in 3 years. It was horrible. Dr. Wagner is a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. People with severe osteoarthritis, even bone on bone, are back doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Olympic Hot Tub is clearing our warehouse. This is a rare chance to save thousands on in-stock hot tubs and get big savings on saunas and swim spas. Find our warehouse clearance savings in all 8 Olympic showrooms through March 8th. More at olympichottub.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.